Live. Bam, bam. Cool. Bow, bow, bow. I did that the first time I went to go. Have you ever been to a Six sing-along show?
No.
First time I went to a Six sing-along show, I got overwhelmed and confused, and I ended up singing the orchestrations.
Of course you did.
I went to the backing vocals at some point during Nowhere. I was like, she gotta keep it cool. Pretty young thing. And then I ended up on like do.
I love how you're singing it is so like the cast recording version.
Pretty young thing. Yeah.
Right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's good to see us, isn't it? Hello.
It's Jeremy's new show.
Good morning in Australia. Hello. Hey, hello in Seattle. Oh my god, hey,
Hello.
everybody. Hello. Jeremy's new show.
Do you mean Floyd Collins?
Do you mean Floyd Collins at Lincoln Center? Jeremy Jordan's new show? Is that when you say Jeremy, that's the Jeremy I think of.
Hello, everybody.
Back to the Future announced for Sydney, September 2025. Might need multiple trips down under. Back to the Future is everywhere next year. They're closing on Broadway, but they're going everywhere else. They are going to Europe. They continue to run in the West End. They are
going on cruise ships.
Touring the US. They're going on cruise ships. They're going to be in Toronto. They're going to be in Australia. I don't know Floyd Collins. A lot of other people know Floyd Collins better than I.
It is fair to Monday, Ben.
Oh, thank you, Rosie. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
What did we think of A Christmas Carol?
What did we think of A Christmas Carol?
You just posted your real review.
I've just shared my review on Instagram. By all means, don't leave us now, but later you can go check out my Instagram review. I have complicated feelings about A Christmas Carol, but I enjoyed the Old Vic one very much. I didn't know how different an adaptation it was. It's very different.
Yeah, it is very different.
Yeah. You saw Maybe Happy Ending yesterday and loved it. You want to go back next month? I also want to go back next month, but I will not be in New York next month, so please do go back for me. And everyone who has not yet seen Maybe Happy Ending on Broadway, if you are local to Broadway, go see it this month, next month. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Whatever if for any reason you think it's not for you, impaled myself with a wand. Lean away from that impulse because it's jazzy and it's sophisticated and it's Sondheim-y, but it's also Hadestown-y, but it's also a cute little animated story. Oh, I see. I thought you were taking it away.
No.
Hello, everybody.
Just in case anybody's new to a live, we are live now, both on YouTube, on Mickey's YouTube, and on my TikTok.
Eyes of Tammy Faye closing reactions. That is not the name of the show, so that's part of that. That doesn't help. Is the whole identity crisis. Tammy Faye closing on Broadway. Sadly, it was never selling well enough.
Anybody was surprised.
I just don't think reviews aside, everything else aside, casting is everything else aside. It's just there's not enough interest for people to go and see it. People either don't know who she is or aren't drawn to go and see a show about her life. I think some people are uncertain about maybe how it presents the evangelist characters whose careers it documents. Mm-hmm. That's what I seem to be getting a lot in comments, is a lot of people being like, I wouldn't want to go see a musical about her, and the extent to which she's just also not known. It was such a huge capacity leap from the Almeida in London to the Palace that we can't look at them as comparable. It did well in London. Why didn't it do well in New York? The Almeida is tiny.
The thing is as well, international tourists don't really know Tammy Faye. And then on top of that, if they wanted to watch an Elton John score on Broadway, The Lion King's running.
Yeah.
So,
very true. Very true. How many musicals have I personally acted on in the amateur and student musical theatre circuit? 12? 10 to 12?
Hi, Hannah.
Hello. Hello, everybody joining us this evening.
We just watched Moana 2.
We just went to go see a screening of Moana 2, which I've been affectionately referring to as Moana 2, Moana, Mo Problems. Which, having now seen the film, is apt. Because she has problems to deal with.
We got to see Barlow and Bear perform two of the numbers at a special event before.
We did.
That's very fun.
Do you have any idea as to when they will announce the new cast of Wicked in the West End? hopefully soon. I think their usual announcement schedule has been
usually
affected by
announce
the
now.
film.
Yeah, they usually announce around now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you think, Hannah, of Moana.
Yes.
I've got Get Lost stuck in my head.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. And I think because the new song they've written for the songs are out, so you could have listened to the songs. I think I'm allowed to say this.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to. I'm under embargo for reviewing. Not that I'm necessarily going to review it anyway. But
I think you should. You have a lot of thoughts already.
What I will say about the music, because that's the thing that interests me most, right? As Barlow and Baird joining as composers, that's the thing that interests me most about all of this. Is the new song from Moana does a great job in having a kinship to How Far I'll Go from the first film. New song from Maui sounds a lot like Maui. The reason I think Get Lost is the most fun is because it's a brand new character and they're not tethered to anything. It still sounds like Moana. I think they've done a great job in writing a score for the second film that sounds so much like the first, while still being good independent songs. And that was their task here. That was the assignment that they were given. I'm going to keep. You can't take this away from me. I'm a princess. You can go. There's a broom in the other room if you want a broom.
You didn't even bring it into me.
You didn't ask for a broom.
Rude.
It's just like boop. But yeah, I enjoy the songs very much. I don't know.
No, it was this Friday, I think, that they announced the Wicked cast.
I think Wicked West End cast could be coming any day now.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes soon, because I don't think they'll wait too long because of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult when they join that it'd be very late for them to announce it.
Yeah.
Brian, hot take that it's wrong.
What did Brian say? Wicked wasn't the bee's knees. I said it. Oh, so edgy, Brian. So original. Good job. I revisited watching the Bad Cinderella videos. That felt like a fever dream. Wasn't it just? I've never watched those back since making those. Maybe I should.
What is maybe happy ending about? So how I like to explain maybe happy ending is take Wally, there's another one that I was gonna say. It's like you take a Pixar film.
I think it's Toy Story.
Yeah, I see that as well. It's very like it's like a Pixar movie. It's about two robots, two helper
Tonally
bots.
speaking,
Yeah, it's about two helper bots, and they're both kind of like a bit like Wall-E, like robots that are nearing the end of their battery lives, and like they're no longer working with
they're retired like helper robots who are figuring out what to do and how to find fulfillment in their lives now that they are outliving their intended purpose and their kind of like instructions. And but the way they interact with each other and with the world feels like a metaphor for navigating the world as a neurodivergent person.
Yes,
it's a beautiful story with a jazz score. It talks about a lot of important things. It talks about love. It talks about grief. It's the most touching, smart, funny, charming thing on Broadway right now. It's shot right up to my favorite musical on Broadway currently of all of them. I love it so much.
Hannah said, did we see the 3-star stage review
for Wicked? I know. I haven't even read it because I was like, I just don't need that negativity in my week, in my life. But apparently I didn't even read that negative.
Sometimes don't. This is the thing. My thing that I still can go over is the bits I've seen from the BBC one.
The BBC one is wild.
I just start to go like, let's not say what, like, even if we're taking in that they just know nothing about it, I'm still like, Nessa's very instrumental in the fact that Elphaba wouldn't even go to Shiz if it wasn't for Nessa. But Nessa is so deeply needed in Wicked that I just go,
Yeah, the size of the bucket hat from Maybe Happy Ending, great question. It's slightly smaller than the Bad Cinderella. I've got a big head and it fits my head, so you should be fine. It's slightly smaller than the Bad Cinderella bucket hat. It's larger than the one I got from Disneyland Paris. I don't know if that helps you. I don't know how to convey the sizes of bucket hats.
Thank you, everybody, for liking the TikTok live. It helps a lot. Thank you.
Ah. Hello in New York City, Brian Howard. I saw Tammy Faye last night and the audience was surprisingly full and energetic. Honestly, I really enjoyed the show and feel bad for the cast. It's clear they're very sad about the show closing. It's always a very sad time. And a show closing, be that as scheduled or early, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad show and you won't have a good time. I enjoyed myself at Tammy Faye. I thought it had shortcomings and I thought it had things that could have been improved about it, but I still enjoyed myself. We have friends who have been multiple times and enjoyed themselves. There's a difference between a show being good and a show being like commercially viable, and those are two different conversations.
Yeah.
This was a great idea. I'm going to be gesturing. Can you imagine if I had this when I was teaching?
If you accidentally hit me,
here
you'll
you
never
see-
be hearing the end of it.
Here, and here. Oh, they should do a partnership with like air traffic controllers, being like
And this is where
helping
we
you
shout
to
out.
like helping you take to the skies. How have they not done an airlines partnership?
This is where we have to shout out the Noble Collection.
We do, yeah. So this is from the Noble Collection, by the way.
But you can get it from places like Hamleys and
Or their own storefront in London, near
Yeah.
Covent Garden.
just very cute. And we were very thankful to be gifted it. And I've now got the wand. Woo! That worked. Yay! Band.
I'm happy about this.
Band.
Rude.
Rude.
Am I in an echo chamber, or is Wicked being good to great actually unanimous consensus? No, Brian didn't like it, and his medal is in the post. Amy, you're going on your first New York trip in February for Operation Mincemeat first preview. Any must-see show recommendations? If you're a Mincemeat fan, it's Maybe Happy Ending. You've got to go see Maybe Happy Ending.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to go see what else is witty and smart on Broadway right now specifically. Well, new things will have opened by then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Mary.
Oh Mary feels.
I would
very
throw Oh
creative
Mary
film.
in there as well. Have a whole yellow weekend of shows.
I really like Death Becomes Her.
Oh yeah.
So like camp Broadway
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Death Becomes Her.
Yellow and purple is the theme of that
Mhm.
trip. Do you guys know the actor that's replacing Jeremy Jordan in Gatsby? I'm not that familiar with him. Ryan McCartan. Well, yes, Ryan McCartan. He was the original JD in Heather's Off Broadway. He's also quite popular here on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel. You can go check out his content as well. He was announced to be in Old Friends, Stephen Sondheim's Old Friends on Broadway this season, where I assume he would have been doing the Jack Yarrow track or the Bradley Jaden track.
Yeah,
I think.
I guess so.
But he's not doing that anymore because he's now starring in The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
He's been a Fiyero before. He's been a Hans. I think he's been a Fiyero.
I think he has.
He has. He's been a Hans in Frozen. But this, I guess, will be his biggest Broadway gig
leading
to date for Mr.
Full
Ryan
lead.
McCartan. He's also one of the earliest winners of the Jimmy Awards. Or I don't know if he's one of the other. He was a Jimmy Awards winner.
Oh, which is fun because he'll be joining Eva, who's also Jimmy Awards.
All about the Jimmys at The Great Gatsby. Where else are we?
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, everybody, for likes. I just realised we got to 3.1.
Wow.
That was a massive jump, really quickly. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
I saw Devon Hansen on Friday, and first time I bawled at a musical. I can actually relate to Evan. I'm very glad you had that experience. That sounds very emotionally powerful. Feel free if you need to sleep in the time zone that you're in. I respect that. Do you think maybe Happy Ending will survive until the Tonys? I'm praying it'll come to the UK one day. I hope it does.
I
on
hope
both
so.
counts.
I feel like if it stays until the Tonys, there's a much higher chance that production could come to the UK. And I would like that production to come to the UK. I think this is my thoughts currently. Is like if it doesn't, that I think that makes more of a decision of what version would come to the UK.
Yeah.
Then,
and it's they have great people in their corner advocating for the show and trying to get the show seen by. It's frustrating because the show is beautiful and it got like extraordinary reviews. It got wonderful reviews, glowing, almost unanimously positive rave reviews. And it has commercially viable casting, like Darren Criss is a known name.
Yeah.
Helen is brilliant in it. They all are. It's just the frustration of trying to connect that beautiful show to all the people who would love it but don't know what it is.
And for people to take a chance on it.
Yeah, because it's not The Great Gatsby or The Outsiders or Wicked or The Book of Mormon or Death. It's not as recognizable a name. People don't know what that is. And I feel like, I said this before, where people want joyous things sometimes, people don't want maybe happy ending. They want definitely happy ending.
I think it's kind of one of those things as well where if maybe happy ending opened, I said this to you before, if it opened and it was like a Disney original musical, if just that was above it, it'd be such a different discussion of how it would be, and Darren Criss and Helen in it. Like it would all, because it feels very Disney, like extremely Disney Pixar. It basically is a Pixar movie on stage.
Yeah.
Like that is the epitome of what that musical is. But that's hard to sell if it's not got a name attached to it.
Will we be going to see Oliver in the West End? Yes, probably in January, I think. I think that's when it's opening.
Yes. I
thought Press Night was January.
Yes, I think it is.
I think it's January.
Titanicas as well.
Yeah. Do we reckon The Outsiders will come to the UK?
I think because it won the Tony, it has a much higher chance now.
You say that.
They all find their way here eventually.
I don't know, not necessarily.
Ones that haven't, I've still heard of them trying and having been pitched. I don't think I've heard of a Tony Award-winning musical that hasn't nearly come here, even if it hasn't yet.
But not the same producers or the same production.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of where I'm going anyhow. I feel like The Outsiders getting a Tony Award gives it a chance regardless. The issue we have in the UK is that like nobody knows The Outsiders. It's not very well known at all in the UK.
Yeah,
like we don't study it. It's not like
some people. I've heard that
some people do, but it's not.
It's certainly not as known. I do have the Glinda squash over in the kitchen. The Glinda squash is owned.
But they're currently drinking water. That's what was the question.
If we want to speculate about anything, what's going to the Barbican? What's going to the Barbican? Because I don't know.
Nope.
He doesn't know.
No rumours have been going on.
We don't know what's going to the Barbican. Truly, what is going to the Barbican? This time last year, before it was announced, we'd heard it was going to be Carousel. No, I'm lying. Camelot. I started with this. I started boldly. We'd heard that the Lincoln Center revival of Camelot, directed by Bartlett Sher, was going to come over to the Barbican. And then the next thing we heard,
Kiss Me
Kate was being announced. And so I think what happened there is that fell through, but Bartlett Sher, the director, stayed on board to mount a new production of a different show, Kiss Me Kate. This next year, I don't know. We've had a strange loop. We've had that Kiss Me Kate. We've had Anything Goes come back twice.
The thing as well is,
what's it going to be?
The summer production is always done by Trafalgar, because of their deal with the Barbican, but also they're prepping to open their own theatre.
Then they're working on Clueless as well.
And Clueless.
So the most obvious thing for them to do would be to just bring something else from Broadway. That seems to be what they like to do at the Barbican, is to import something from New York. But what's it going to be? Is the Music Man going to come back? That had Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster? Is it going to be something like Illinois? Is The Outsiders going to come and do a limited run? That would be strange, but I don't know.
Thank you so much, Steph. Steph's recommending to go and see my vlog. I've started, so on my YouTube channel, I've started doing a weekly vlog series called The Stagey Diaries. So if you want to know and watch what we get up to on a week, it's all going to be in that series onwards. If anybody used to watch Mickey's Oh My God Hey vlogs, it's basically bringing that back, but you get me as the host this time.
Dreamcasting for a Sunset Boulevard movie. Don't tell Glenn Close I said anyone else but her. Who would I like to see in a Sunset Boulevard movie? I think you need more of a layer of realism. So probably not Nicole. I think Tom Francis is a brilliant on-screen talent. I think he's going to do the most exciting work of his career on screen. I think he's going to have a big film and TV career. Who would you cast? A Sunset Boulevard movie. Glenn still wants to do it.
It's tricky because then I feel like with a movie you're going back to. It's tricky to know where you place that age.
I think it would be very meta to cast someone in a big Hollywood return, not a comeback, who hasn't done cinema for a long time, but was very big on film in their younger years. It'd be very meta to do a return.
Well, like an Andrea Mercado.
As Norma does. Not that younger years, not as a child, but like someone who had a big career in their 20s and 30s, who hasn't done Hollywood. Like Kirsten Dunst, I feel, is already making something of a comeback, but just like someone who was big a little while ago, but also can sing it.
Like an Amy Adams.
I don't think Amy Adams has stopped being big. And I think she's too nice to be a Norma Desmond. But someone along those lines.
I feel like people box Amy Adams, don't they? Oh, Kate just said, can Meg Ryan sing?
That's exactly the energy that I would like to see here. I don't know if Meg Ryan can sing. Well, if Meg Ryan could sing, Liz Calloway wouldn't have needed to do Journey to the Past.
The stuff put OMG Bay is back, because that's when I took over your vlog.
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot about Oh My God, Bay. Cute. After enjoying Teeth the musical, have you ever listened to Silence the musical? We saw it at the Edinburgh Fringe.
A question I keep seeing, always had Catherine Zeta-Jones referenced.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I mean, she fits into that world very easily.
She has won an Academy Award.
But also Renee Zellweger is probably another person that's like...
Renee, she's already done Judy.
Yes, she was
very
good.
And she's still Bridget Jonesing it up.
Yeah,
so...
she was very good in Judy.
Oh, she was good in Judy.
Judy loved Judy. I was stunned by how much I enjoyed that film.
She was. Based on a play, of course. Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's an interesting shout. I can see her.
I can see it.
And not dissimilar to a Nicole Scherzinger take, I think.
Yeah.
I see a lot of similar energy there. You there.
We also had an interesting question, which we were talking about earlier. Which is why, will we see Dorothy in part 2?
Are we going to see Dorothy in part 2?
I think we're definitely going to see
part 2.
We will definitely see Dorothy, because we saw, well, she's in the musical. So 1 point.
She is.
And only in part 2, but in Act 2. But also, we've already seen the clip in the trailers of her and her friends in front of the wizard's face. So we already know that we're going to see the moment where they meet the wizard.
It'd be interesting to go back to that trailer specifically and identify all the clips that we haven't yet attributed to the first film.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple.
There are a couple.
That we kind of earmarked for, is this later on? We already saw Dorothy. We did see Dorothy, but we saw Dorothy like a chaotic drone from the skies. Dorothy's played by Norbert. I love it. Yes, Kate, exactly. Exactly that. I didn't know if that was going to be a spoiler to point that out, but yes. Do you think Why Am I So Single could work better as a 2-person musical with some revisions?
I think...
Interesting.
I think the thing that I just always think is, like, I loved it being so simple in the workshop.
I loved the ensemble playing furniture in the workshop.
I think that's probably the thing that lost me a bit when it transferred, was just that it felt like less was more. It was the same size ensemble. I think it just worked quite well being a very like empty, bare bones stage.
I reckon they'll remake Wizard of Oz. I think we're going to probably see on the back of this success. Hollywood pays attention to things like this and they get dollar signs in their eyes. I think someone's going to try and do a Wizard of Oz like mini-series. I don't know if they'll do film remake Wizard of Oz. we joked the other day because Stephen Schwartz and Winnie Holtzman did that interview where they were like,
They said they're not doing Wicked 3 or 4.
It won't be called Wicked Part 3 and 4, but we've had a thought about Beyond Wicked Part 2.
Which makes me think Universal have already been like, in the past 6 months or 3 months, been like, so here's the thing. We want to do a Universal Land, and we want to do this and this. So...
You said, are they going to do their own version of Wizard of Oz? Now, obviously, we have the film Wizard of Oz, we have the RSC Wizard of Oz. If you didn't know, there's also the Andrew Lloyd Webber Wizard of Oz, and I joked that every contemporary musical theatre composer has to now make their own Wizard of Oz. Whose would you most like to go and see if everyone did their own? Jason Robert Brown Wizard of Oz would be fascinating. Michael R. Jackson Wizard of Oz. Can you imagine?
I'm just thinking of teeth now.
Can you imagine?
That'd be camp.
Simon, I'm not really available for hire to provide notes on unpublished play scripts, simply because I'm not really qualified to do so. But there are a great many qualified dramaturgs who you can get in touch with. I can recommend some if you would like. I saw Maybe Happy Ending yesterday and it was completely sold out. I hope that's a good sign. I actually bought the last ticket when I was at the box office on Saturday. Good for you and for them.
Hi, Dylan.
Hello, Dylan. Not sure if you've read Wicked reviews, but the IndieWire review wasn't even a review. It was just David Ehrlich having an existential crisis over films he doesn't like. And thank goodness there's still a forum for grumpy older men to do that. Otherwise, where would they go?
Oh no, Tim Minchin Wizard of Oz, I would be so down for.
Tim Minchin Wizard of Oz.
But obviously it would be like Matilda-esque.
That'd be great though.
It would be the lyrical content would be incredible. And it would be slightly dark, which I prefer for the stage.
How many times will you see the Wicked movie? We've already seen it
twice.
Boop, boop. 2 times.
I don't know if we'll see it again in the cinemas.
See, after seeing Moana 2, I was like, I liked that. I want to go see Wicked again now. I want every cinema experience to be Wicked. Depends how long it's in cinemas. Because I don't need to right now, but in a couple of weeks.
I feel like to see it again, it'd either now need to be with family or a group of friends for me. I think mainly because when we saw it I really enjoy picking apart and like looking for the cameos and looking for stuff. But I think part of me is now is excited for when like it's on streaming or it's digital, so that I can fully be like, oh my gosh, it is them. Wait, can I go back a second?
We can all have Wicked parties. We can all have Wicked movie.
I'd fully be down for a group trip to see it though, on like where everybody's like in pink, like a group trip where you're with a group of friends watching it.
What I will say fun. Is we all need to support the Wicked movie as much as we can right now, as much as everyone feels is affordable and is accessible and possible for them. And then again, when it is on digital release, because we need to help show Hollywood that movie musicals are viable. And we need to show up for this thing that we love, this thing that we have been impatiently waiting for 20 years, and support it.
But yeah, the big thing right now is Wicked doing well means that more musicals will get changed and get film adaptations.
Correct. Yeah.
And like the thing is now, so many different film studios will be trying to think, what musical could we do that could be a Wicked?
Yeah. Are you more Elphaba or Glinda?
Elphaba.
I have lately come to the troubling realization that I am Glinda coded.
You are.
I'd never thought this.
He is very much so.
Because, and it's like, I found myself relating to so many moments. I was like, I too am overly concerned and consumed with the public perception of me. And I know.
Oh my gosh, people are saying you're so Glinda.
Okay, wow. Wow, first of all. It's okay if I say it. What are your Elphaba qualities, Aaron James? You rescued any animals this week? Do tell.
I don't know. I just like that's very. I've always kind of associated with her more, and I think like how she kind of thinks of herself and how she reacts around herself and how she positions herself. I'm like, oh, I'm like a lot of that. I'm like, oh, I get that, and like I think like when I remember like as a teenager and stuff thinking, oh, I'm not that girl. I was like, oh, I fully get that vibes.
Oh yeah,
and. There's just things in how she does, in her personality and her humor. I'm like, oh, I see myself like that.
Ben believes he is a Glinda, even though he empathizes more with Elphaba.
I mean, I would agree that you are more of a Glinda just for the iconic words that you come out with, like tie.
I think you're a Bok.
I've always said I'm a Bok.
Yeah.
But that's partly just because I'm small.
That question was addressed specifically to you, and I answered it first.
Such a Glinda.
Oh, now I see it. Oh, no.
Such a Glinda.
Looking forward to your Death Becomes Her review. I saw Death Becomes Her, and not because I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know if I'm able to review it because it was like one day prior to press performances and we had a show stop, and I just don't think I saw the best version of the show. And I'm hoping that it's running through the spring so that when I'm back in New York, I can go see it again, and then, having seen it twice, give you a really thorough, really detailed review rather than what I don't think was quite a complete. I've been agonizing over this a little bit.
Kate Bok finally got Glinda.
Bok finally. That's cute. Saw MJ the musical the other night. My goodness, what an ensemble. Best dancing I've seen in the show so far. Oh yeah. The dance, amazing. Do you think Phantom will be revived on Broadway? Not imminently.
Back to MJ. Also, costumes by the same costume designer as Wicked, the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Suffs. And Hamilton.
I don't think I knew that.
All the same person.
Wow. Love your sweatshirt, Aaron. It's actually like an Oodie. Is that what it's called?
It's a hoodie.
But it's like a really fluffy one.
Yeah, but it's basically a hoodie.
It's
like a fluffy hoodie. Yeah, this is like a normal hoodie style.
Yeah.
But I've had it for years from a Disney store, and every year they kind of come out with a similar type.
Okay, we're not taking the blame for that.
Oh,
Shut that
no.
right down. That has to be in our guest book if we're doing a guest book at our wedding, which we should do a guest book.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I don't know if I want to lean into Bok and Glinda being our thing. I think there's other relationships in media that better summarize us. But I can't think of one right now. I'm going to see Come From Away next week. Mervish in Toronto had Black Friday deals. Enjoy. I bet Come From Away in Toronto is fun. I bet that's fun.
And in this kind of like in winter thing, Come From Away just feels very nice.
Is it snowy in Toronto right now? Imagine Hannah Lowther was Glinda in Wicked Part 2. It would be like, I mean, Ariana's filmed it already, so that would be. Hannah would be a lovely Glinda, but that would be.
I was just going to say, I need Hannah. Popular.
It's not James Bond. They don't have to change between films.
But sometime soon, I do need to see a Hannah popular. Just saying.
That would be fun. That would be very fun. La-di-da-di-da. Are either of you on Blue Sky yet? Yes, we're both on Blue Sky. Have been for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you think Ariana will do the F6 in Thank Goodness? Is it right at the end?
Yes, I think so.
Thank goodness today. Thank goodness for today. Yes, because she did the one in No One Mourns the Wicked, which, if anything, is rarer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think she will.
I'm very excited. Well, no, I hope that in the stage production, we get somebody to do the Louise Diamond note. Because I realised we weren't getting it in the film, and I was like, I want that moment.
The wicked die alone. Any plans for Mickey Jo and Aaron to make it out to California?
We would love to.
It's on our to-do list. Yeah. It is on our to-do list.
We've actually spoken about it a couple of times.
I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to Berkeley Rep, but we'll get there. Do you know when we'll get there? We'll get there when there's something theatrical happening in California that's unmissable.
Well, also, we'll get there when friends are going there.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to tie together.
And I've been granting myself a lot of grace with American regional theatre and not trying to see everything because that's too hard. to try and see everything in the West End, everything on Broadway, notable things in other countries around the world, occasionally Hamburg, occasionally Paris, occasionally Canada.
I suppose where we rely on Kate and Ashley to do the regionals,
Yeah.
and we can ask, what do you think of these? And we'll do the regional UK or regional, like, all European productions to be like, this is what you need to know about.
Yeah.
It's like tag team.
Yeah. What surprised you the most in the Wicked film? California, who knows where?
Oh, what surprised me the most with the Wicked film?
Probably Kiara and the character that she had. And
yes.
You'd kind of predicted this.
I'd already predicted it. It was more of a confirmation for me. I was like, oh, okay. It is. They have done that. I'm trying to not do spoilers in case you haven't watched it.
Flashbacks to childhood. That made me gasp.
That's in the trailer, so that's not a surprise.
So I think it's probably that.
Mine would probably just be that they didn't really cut anything. I think that just shocked me in general that nothing was cut. Like, we didn't have any big songs cut. Any songs in general cut from the show, which I was like, oh wow, didn't expect that.
Yeah. Any idea of when Shucked is coming to the West End? I've heard summer 2025. Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, summer 2025. Keep an eye out. That'll be announced soon, along with their entire season, I should have thought. I just booked Sunset Boulevard for my first New York trip in April. So excited. Enjoy. Have a lovely time. I had a thought today that Carly Mercedes Dyer could be cast as Jane Seymour for the West End production of Six in January. So if you don't know, she was cast in the show she was cast in the Manchester production. Was it touring then, or were they just doing like a sit down at the Lowry?
I think it was sitting down for the Christmas.
Yeah. But this was when we were in and out of lockdowns.
Yeah.
And she never really got to do it because she then went into Anything Goes.
Yeah, she was in Anything
afterwards.
Goes, so she couldn't do it.
So
there's a very good
costume and everything.
If you want to learn about that, in The Frame with Andrew Tomlins, he did a full interview with Carly where she talks about it all.
I remember listening to that one.
Yeah,
I had it on.
It was very interesting.
Do you already know when you'll be back on Broadway? No.
Not yet.
No, we don't do very good at planning that far in advance, which is why we still don't know when we're getting married.
We didn't see Oliver at Lee's Playhouse.
Oliver at Lee's Playhouse.
We were trying to, and then the dates just didn't work when we were at North.
Again, too much theatre, too little time. Have you seen The Notebook? Yes, seen it twice. Any chance of it coming to the UK? ? Joy Woods ? I doubt Joy will do it, sadly. Although who knows where we'll be by that point, because I think, yes, it will come to the UK. No, it won't be anytime soon. I think it'll do the full American tour, and only thereafter will it possibly come to the UK. But it's going to be a little while yet.
Here and Now is like the camp Steps musical. I think if you love Steps, you'll really enjoy it.
Dean the Guillotine. You've got to tell us what your first Broadway show is going to be. Have you already planned it? Do you already know which one it's going to be? I'm curious.
I keep forgetting that I'm a Celebrity's on. Last if we were watching I'm a Celebrity, and I realized
I've never watched I'm a Celebrity. I don't like it. I know that's a controversial thing to say. That's not my kind of reality TV. I like wealthy American women fighting over. I mean,
that's basically Real Housewives.
No, it's not.
That's basically I'm a Celebrity. It's rich people.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like Real House. They're a million miles apart. I'm not a fan. Can't do it.
Ooh. Kate said, I need Dijon a gift my days.
Yes. Now I do as well. Joanne says it was lovely meeting you both in person at at Musical Con and at Mickey's live show. Thank you for being so nice.
It was lovely to meet
you. Such a kind thing to say. Will you go back to Grande? I'd love to. It's a magical place. Even aside from the brilliant non-replica production of
It made my heart so warm, just the place and the people.
Just the vibes.
And the food was really nice too.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the food there.
So much poutine.
Yeah.
Do you feel sad that you never got to see the award-winning Leeds Playhouse production of It's here as well? Yes. Very sad. Very sad.
We got to see the current cast of Cabaret in New York, but we didn't see Ali because she was out on that day. But we saw Adam.
Yes. And I'll share a review of Adam Lambert in Cabaret on Broadway, maybe this week, maybe next week, but soon, everybody. Do you think Darren Criss has a good chance for Best Actor against Tom Francis for the Tonys? I don't actually think that's the race. I don't think either of them are necessarily considered frontrunners at this stage, but the shows that are haven't opened yet. I think the ones to watch, well, James Monroe Iglehart is a factor in Wonderful World, Jonathan Groff in Just in Time, Jeremy Jordan for Floyd Collins. What else is coming in the spring? I'm sure there was something else off the top of my head as well. Oh, John Gallagher Jr. for Swept Away, I think, also needs to be in that conversation.
I just realized I just read that one and realized we're not here.
Is it musical week of... Oh, Strictly Musicals week
this week.
They're doing that very late in the competition. Is it always this late in the competition?
No, it's not normally after Blackpool, I don't think.
Wow.
But we are travelling, I think, at the time that it'll be on.
Yes, we probably are. Are you seeing Great Comet in London? Yes, we're seeing it twice, as it currently stands.
So you can get the wand from the Noble collection, either it's in London, but also there's places like Hamleys have it. Sorry, in America as well, but I can't remember where. Because I remember saying, "Oh, the Noble collection."
Not the wand, though.
No, I don't think it was.
It was at Barnes and Noble.
Yes.
Just got back from... Oh, I've scrolled too far. I've lost you all. I've totally lost you all.
Ooh, one band or artist you would love to see get a jukebox musical in the future. I have an odd one where I would like Sarah Bareilles one day to decide to use her original music to create one, as well as her because I love her writing musicals, but also a lot of her pre-existing music would work really well in a musical.
Fair.
Because I thought this before she wrote Waitress. Before Waitress existed, I was like, her music is so theatrical. But actually, I would like to see some of that be used. Similarly to somebody like Jamie Cullum, his music would work very well on stage.
Fleetwood Mac is a great shout from Kate. I would like a more narrative Billy Joel jukebox.
Also Regina Spektor.
Options.
My big one has always been Adele.
I don't know. Is there enough variety in Adele's music? It's not a criticism. She gives you a very lovely ballad. 20 ballads do not a musical score make. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but how much Adele have you ever listened to?
Wow, okay. Scathing eyes over here.
You're talking about maybe like the views of her first two albums, but then
no, on every single album there
are ballads, but there are upbeat.
Tell me about Adele's famous up tempos.
I'll let you think about it. I'll come to you in a second.
I'm still thinking. Is Rolling in the Deep considered up tempo?
Yes. There's a fire.
It's not that fast.
I mean, think about Moulin Rouge. It is one of the quicker songs.
I don't know if I'm feeling it. I don't know. Perhaps that was controversial to say.
Send my love to your new lover. Send my love to your new lover.
Okay. I've lost that battle. I just got back from seeing Wicked second day in a row. I loved your video review on it, but don't remember if you mentioned how Fanny said Theo is going to lose what's left of his mind. A good point. A good foreshadowing point.
Oh, thank you.
Erin does have a very calming voice. It's true. Hello from California. Hello, Alison in California. Just recently saw the Proshot of Kiss Me Kate with Stephanie J. Block
from a Barbican.
And somehow ended up in the same theatre screening with, I was going to say, California resident Stephanie J. Block. She now lives on the West Coast. And wow, imagine that. Did you say hello to her while you were there?
There was Lady Gaga Norma Desmond is something that
Oh, okay.
I saw these rumors at one point where people were like, she's going to do the Jamie Lloyd production in LA. That was the big rumors that were going around like a month or so
I've never
ago.
actually heard anything
Yeah.
substantial to that. There will be more live shows. There'll be more MickeyJoTheatre Live in the new year. Stay tuned for announcements. But yes, thank you so much. Have you heard the rumored new West End Wicked cast? Yes. Will you be back to New York to catch All In? Probably not. I don't think we'll catch All In.
This is a question. This is something I wonder. I don't think they're going to add material to Wicked on stage following their films, but but I do wonder if we might see Wicked get not a restaging, but like kind of what Phantom and Les Mis maybe has, where the productions might get a little tech upgrade or a little like, only because the only reason I think this could happen is because Universal are very high up. They own the musical first, and so I wonder if they're going to view how does Wicked the movie affect Wicked the show, Wicked the musical on stage, and to see if it has a positive effect and not any issues, or if I don't know. If I'm very like, we could see it, we could not see it, but I could see.
I don't
both things
subscribe to
go.
this school of thought. The big difference with Wicked the musical versus the stage version is the length, and they have the capacity in the film to flesh out so much more. And everyone's saying like, "Oh, I actually prefer the film." It's likely because they can do more magic. They can do different magic. She can fly all around the damn tower. It's also because they have the space and the room to flesh out a lot of these characters and afford everything an additional layer of depth. Whether that's the animal, we see more animals, we see more of everything because we can do that because it's a film. I don't know where they would even make tech improvements in the stage version of Wicked that wouldn't make other things seem conspicuous by alternative. I think Wicked's just been around for a long time. People love to hate on something that's been around for a long time.
The other thing we could see, it's weird because what's interesting with the film adaptation is that Winnie and Stephen have both been involved. That it's not like we see with some film adaptations where all the writers aren't involved, and like Winnie Holzman, like it's interesting thinking that both of them have gone back to.
But very few changes were made to the score for the film.
True. But I do wonder if there might be. I don't know. There's part of me that is like, could there be some vote changes, or could there be some? Could there end up being slight reframing with Nessa because of discussions that have been made? Those are my little things. Could there be like a change in who gets to play the role of like Fanny or something? Is it and Chen? Is that slightly opened up more?
Fair.
Because there's some things that are very stuck in ways with Wicked because it's been such a long run. I wonder if the film will slightly change.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly change slightly change maybe the gender discussion of who plays Glinda's friends and stuff like that.
When will Stomp come back to the West End? I never saw Stomp, and I was a little perplexed by the concept of it, but I haven't seen it. So please explain to me the beauty of Stomp.
I feel like you would.
Manifesting Trisha Paytas going into Little Shop of Horrors. There, I said it. Honestly, give her a run. Let her do it. See what happens. I need an Alexander Hansen, Max von Mayling. Give me the Little Night Music reunion I deserve. Why am I not figuring out why it's the Little Night Music reunion? Oh, with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Of course. Oh, I see. Yeah. I see that. Will you be seeing Curve, My Fair Lady? Haven't decided yet. Don't know if it's making the pre-Christmas regional theatre trip shortlist. The Broadway cast of Once Upon a Mattress is coming to Los Angeles next month for a limited run.
Do you think they're going to film it there?
Do we need a Once Upon a Mattress Proshot? I guess that's a great resource for all the schools doing it. Fair enough.
And also, I'm just thinking, sometimes when they do that change, it's like when it comes to London.
Yeah.
It's a quick film.
I know what Stomp is. I need someone to explain to me the beauty of Stomp.
Could Mattress be going to the Barbican?
It could.
I hadn't even thought about that until right then.
It could be mattress at the.
Because that's very...
It's so American.
I mean, it is, but it's also with Princess and the Pig.
I don't know, maybe. That's great. You saw Silence at the Edinburgh Fringe. I saw it in 2004 in the New York Fringe Festival. It became a big midnight show in the East Village and played for 2 years. I'd love to see a midnight show in the East Village. Bring back something like that. Bring back.
Although I get a bit nervous in the Village.
Yeah, it's not my favorite place to. I just don't think we've spent enough time there to really get the vibe, because Times Square is just busier and louder and brighter than it feels safer, but I don't know if it actually is. Shows you're most looking forward to in 2025. What a question.
People have made me get really excited for Sing Street.
Sing Street at the Lyric Hammersmith. I'll say the West End arrival or the UK arrival of Shucked.
Yes.
And over on Broadway, I won't see Gypsy till 2025.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Boop.
I was just about to say Boop. Smash.
Boop. Smash. Also Smash. Hercules in the West End.
Kate says Goddess in the US.
Goddess in the US. I'd love to start with a little niche one that people may not be thinking about, but I don't even know. Titanic coming to the West End is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Probably something that hasn't been announced yet. Whatever's at the Barbican. What's at the Barbican? What's at the Barbican?
Or at the Palladium, even though we have an idea.
Hashtag MickeyJoTheatre wants to know what's at the Barbican. That's too long a hashtag.
Two Strangers Off Broadway is likely. They've already mentioned it in an article that they want to.
Any thoughts?
So I think that's an on the cards thing.
Any thoughts on Part 2's exclusive Ari song? Any predictions on the placement of the track plot-wise? Have we heard the song? I don't think we've heard the song yet. Okay, so if Ariana's getting a new song in Part 2, I think it replaces I'm Not That Girl reprise. And it's just a full song in that moment, because the only reason to have that be a short I'm Not That Girl reprise is because you don't have that much time in the stage version. And she could do and say and feel something fuller in that moment. And reprising a song from a film ago, I don't know if that carries the same effect.
It's either that, or I feel like it could be as she's prepping to go, no, because it wouldn't go post for good.
I think it's
the thing, yeah.
I think that's the part of the film.
Oh. Or it could be after Thank Goodness when Fiera goes, but before I'm Not That Girl. I don't know.
What has she not said in Thank Goodness?
Do you know what? It's tricky. It's tricky what we're missing.
It could be pre-Thank Goodness. That's my other thing. Is if we see more,
big lot of time that we don't know.
If we see more of that time period and her becoming Glinda the Good, the public figure, there could be can it be Rainbow High? Can it be the wicked answer to Rainbow High? Can it be Over the Rainbow High?
Like her first public appearances, because to be fair, when we get to Thank Goodness, everybody knows who she is, but currently nobody knows who she is.
Yeah.
There is a big gap.
Yeah. I need more people to laugh at Over the Rainbow High. That was a beautiful Wizard of Oz ex Evita montage in my head. Something I'm curious about is to why Tammy Faye was popular in the West End but tanking on board. It was never in the West End. It was at the Almeida in Islington, which is a tiny, tiny theatre for a limited run. It was a new Elton John musical. It was directed by the artistic director. It was the big Christmas musical. It was always going to sell. It was not. It never had the chance to be popular in the West End. That's a false equivalency. Sorry to shut that down. There is the planned Universal theme park in the UK. Has it been officially announced?
It's Universal have made clear that they're looking to it. It's just not been officially groundwork, dates and stuff. Is Matt Doyle as Frank Sinatra ever happening on Broadway? They just did a semi-public reading of the version that was in Birmingham with many of the same principal cast members, but they're not going to do it while Louis Armstrong musical and Bobby Darin musical are both on Broadway. They're going to wait until after all of that is done, I believe. I think that's also why we haven't seen Warriors trying to come to Broadway alongside The Outsiders. That's my thinking, is that
Beyond Wicked Part 2 could be adaptations of Son of the Witch, etc. But
I think that
they took the plot of Wicked in a very different direction for the stage version.
I was just about to say, and like
cleaned it up a lot.
Son of the Witch also is a decision on. It's a studio decision because obviously, like, Son of the Witch is then a queer lead, and which I would be so down for, but I don't know. I don't know with that because book spoilers. Alphabet no longer exists when those fact comes in. She's just spoken about, but is not there at all.
Memorable prequel with the arrival of the wizard. Ooh, I'd give some Oz lore. Get some Oz.
I'd like some young Morrible because I feel like you're then. The only thing we get into then though is do we get this weird thing of trying to redeem every person, like being like, so now you know that Morrible's the villain of Wicked. Now we're going to show the story of how Morrible.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Like
we're frozen on your TikTok, I think.
There we are. So that my only worry is that if you got like a Morrible prequel, I think it'd be really fascinating. But I'd worry of like what would that do to that. But I'd like it also because maybe we'll get more of a Morrible Coddle like relationship.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they like each other at all.
I genuinely think a good musical to film adaptation would work for Kimberly Akimbo. I agree, and I've already told you the cast. You get Meryl Streep and you get Andrew Barth Feldman. Sold.
Do you know who would have been a lovely Kimberly Akimbo?
Who?
Julie Andrews.
Oh, Julie Andrews would have been a lovely Kimberly Akimbo. The revelation that Ellen Green taped for it, as did Judy Q and as did Nancy Opal, has made me very upset to have to know all of that. Oops. A stop-motion Thomas the Tank Engine-like animated film of Starlight Express.
I mean, that's what Starlight Express was inspired by.
Or like Studio Ghibli. Like
Starlight's really tricky because I feel like
no, Polar Express style animation, Starlight Express.
Somebody asked it earlier, but we'd gone past it, whether we'd see a Polar Express musical. I know they've done the immersive version that happens on a train.
Oh.
You can go on in the UK. My thing with Polar Express is that I just don't think the plot would hold on stage.
I don't remember enough of Polar
I just
Express
remember it being quite, like, the more I think about it and think back to it, I'm like, it just felt quite thin.
Claymation Starlight Express. What musical would you like as claymation?
Cats would have been a lot better.
As claymation? I was going to say Spelling Bee.
Oh, yeah, no, I see that.
Or something with the sensibility of like Betty Blue Eyes. Give me an Aardman Betty Blue Eyes. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how much
Spelling Bee would do well.
Right?
Like in a Family Guy, like, or Bob's Burgers
like
style animation, yeah. I mean, Spelling Bee is meant to happen with Disney. Once on This Island is happening with Disney. This is where I'm like, hopefully in the next couple of months we'd actually get hopefully in the next few months we'll get to hear more about these musicals that are in development for films.
Yeah. Floyd Collins will be eligible for the Tonys. Everything that opens officially before the end of a certain date in April. And if it's opening on Broadway, it's because they're going to be, nothing's going to open at this time if they're not eligible. They're all taking that into account. It's all very carefully calculated. Do not worry. I don't know that we do have a runtime for Wicked Part 2 yet.
But it will be that long.
A whole year of revelations to enjoy, people. This is from the Noble Collection, Leah, if you're still watching. One of many lovely things sold by the Noble Collection. Your favorite legit musical and your favorite contemporary musical. My favorite musicals of all time all fall within those two things. I love Into the Woods. I love Les Mis. I love A Chorus Line. I don't think of any of those as being super legit or contemporary because they're all the 70s and 80s. My favorite legit, I mean, Are they legit? Is Les Mis considered legit? I'm just going back to Golden Age, where my answer would probably be Oklahoma. I don't love. I do like Oklahoma. I think it's very strong. I don't know. That's hard. Gypsy? Oh, probably Gypsy.
I'd probably be Rent and Gypsy, I think.
Your favorite contemporary one? Yeah, Rent you could call contemporary. In the Heights might be my favorite contemporary musical.
I do love that show.
Or maybe Happy Ending now. The rumor is that Phantom is being revived off Broadway. There's a whole world of Phantom immersive, maybe. Have they already rented a space? Rumors. How many times will you two see the Wicked movie? We've seen it twice.
We've seen it twice.
How many times will we? I don't know, because I'm nervous about. I don't want to have a negative cinema experience.
This is also my issue. Is that like I've loved watching it, and I really don't want to. I always get worried about like that experience getting ruined at one point, and that's all I remember and talk about, and I'll forget like just how magical that first experience was to see that film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I need to go with a group to see it again.
If there was one song you would have wanted to be done differently, which one? I'm happy with the choices.
I'm happy with everything. I'm also just so happy with how Something Bad.
Yeah.
And no spoilers, but like I thought Something Bad was adapted to the stage, adapted to the screen beautifully.
Really well.
I was like, I was like this, like yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Like John and Chu understood the assignment.
Yeah. I wish that after her singing bit in Before the Wizard and I, Michelle had turned to the camera and flipped off in advance all of the people who are complaining about her vocals, because I think it's nonsense. And I think it's indicative of how good the rest of the film is and all the other vocals are, that we're even talking about memorable vocals. When have we ever? When has anyone ever left the theatre and talked and discussed memorable vocals? What nit are we picking to be talking about memorable vocals? I find it baffling, honestly. Now that tickets are on sale, do you think Mincemeat will manage to pick up a healthy advance, or will it rely on heavy word of mouth once it opens?
It's very tricky to know.
I think we're living in the word of mouth times, and I think it's hard if you don't have names in the cast, if the show isn't a big name, and sadly it's neither of those things. I don't think a big advance can be expected. But I hope it gets sensational word of mouth. That's worked for it here.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, that's a very sweet message. Found your channel day after our horrific election. Since then, I've been watching you and eating chips. Going to NYC in December with tickets to maybe Happy Ending and 3 more. Thanks for covering Off-Broadway and Juniors. Oh, that's lovely. We
love Juniors.
I'm so pleased that you've been enjoying. I hope you have a terrific time in New York.
Juniors has become our, like, I've realized this now, at least 2 trips. We've gone on a group friendship trip to Juniors as like our final big moment on our trips.
Juniors. Juniors is a proper happy place.
Yeah.
Need to go there for breakfast at some point.
Yes, because our friend told us we have to.
Next time we're rushing on like 45th, 6th, 5th. Next time we're rushing on 45th, I would like to go to Juniors afterwards. Putting that out there into the universe.
Why is like I've had a thing pop up about the Irish general election. I think it's because we spoke about. Oh, it's because we spoke about something that's appeared, and I'm like, that's definitely.
If anyone needs information on the Irish general election, then
anyhow,
you're not going to get it from us.
No,
this is not his natural hair color, and he just likes the color green. No Irish going on here.
But
will you come to Leeds to see Coraline in the spring? We'll see Coraline somewhere. Possibly at Leeds. Possibly.
I'm very excited and intrigued because it's very different to what was in New York for that version. I randomly, as we've been speaking about my hair, I really want to try and do the box style, but it looks so difficult because my hair type is not the same.
Oh, just like the.
But it wouldn't work because I realised this when I was watching the film the second time of how Munchkin's hair quality is. Mine's so like straight.
Oh, in the film?
Yeah, my hair's too straight.
Oh, you have to get it permed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that.
I don't think that's the vibe.
But also, I feel like I need to wait till the part 2 to like have a more defined like specific Bok look because he only wears Shiz clothes.
Yeah.
And currently there's not enough Bok love. I'm just gonna say this now. There's not enough Bok love. You notice that Fiero got a doll, that all these different characters got ones, like Nessa got one. Then you've had the plush.
Happen after part 2.
You've had a cowardly lion. You've had a lion cub plush. You've had all of this, and where's Bok? Yes, I know, but it's not going to be Bok. It's not going to be Bok, is it?
Be gone.
I could get loads of things and say that it was Bok. Currently,
we've awakened a demon. I saw Little Shop 2 days after the US election where they held a talkback session. What I found interesting was when the actors explained how difficult it was for them to perform the day after. I am not surprised. That was really who I think my heart broke for the most, was all of the actors having to perform catharsis or pretend not to be going through something. I don't know what was better, like having to do something extraordinarily to the point and difficult like Suffs, or having to do something like Little Shop where you're like putting on a happy cutesy face and not acknowledging it. Probably the second one, honestly. Has Wicked changed its pricing strategy as a result of the success of the movie? No, I don't believe so. Wicked doing staggeringly little with the film, which is an interesting marketing move. They've really not tethered themselves to the film.
They've done slight things. I wonder if
it's subtle.
But I also wonder if it's to do with a case of this period of time is where the musical does not want to fully embrace the movie.
It's after the movies are out.
After the movies happen.
Yes.
It's when they know if the movie has been a success or not.
Yeah.
Because if the musical in any part of the world in the West End or on Broadway links itself or ties itself too much to the movie, and then the movie doesn't do well.
Dear Evan Hansen.
What happens? Dear Evan Hansen, literally this. So I think what we're currently seeing is, and because Universal is so tied to the musical and the movies, because they're a producer of both, they have the rights to both, I think we're seeing the case of the musical like naturally just being like, we're just gonna keep apart, and then the second that it's done and we're in Wicked fever and everybody's like just loves the characters and stuff, the musical's gonna be like, so now you enjoyed the films, let's come and see it on stage.
The way the show is branding itself right now has subtly shifted. I wish I took a photo of that ad we saw in the Underground the other day.
It's the live experience.
The original live the original live experience is what the show called itself in a big poster the other day, and that's an ad that will have gone out alongside the release of the film to be like, oh, you liked that one, come and enjoy it live. The original live experience. This is what
it's based on.
Original tells you this was here first, this is the original, this is the Wicked that you've heard so much about, and live is come and enjoy it in person if you like Wicked so much. No snow in Toronto yet. Hope we get some soon.
Oh, that was ages ago.
I hope so. I hope so soon.
The Phantom.
Me and my partner went to NYC in August, and I want to say thank you because you introduced us to Schmackeries, and my goodness, they're incredible. Yay!
So glad you like
love a Schmackeries convert.
Schmackeries to London. That's my big thing. Schmackeries to London.
Who are we awarding the Mother Award in Wicked Part 1? Who mothers the most in Wicked Part 1?
Sharon D. Clarke.
She does mother. I think
literally.
I think Chenoweth. I think.
Dulcet, yes. Oh, Kate, as well. They're going to be releasing a Dulcibert plush.
They also, the thing I just said, they have talked about in the comments here as well.
That's fine. People might not have seen them.
Fine. I will say no more. Have you already watched Lightning Thief in the Other Palace? Seeing it this week. Seeing it on Thursday, I think. Yes, Aaron. Yeah, I've heard this as well. But I don't think it's not been
publicly
announced yet.
It's something we know, but we can't really comment on.
Do you think Beetlejuice will go to the West End? Yes. Anytime soon? No.
Yeah, Kate. So did the other half.
That's what I was going to say, but I don't want to dwell on it.
It has been publicly there, but if we say too much, it's too. If anybody didn't know, we don't want to be too much on it.
Oh, I am so far back in these comments. As always.
We Live in Cairo was really good. I just saw a question. Yes, definitely worth seeing.
Okay, let's try and blitz through some of these.
Love the score of We Live in Cairo. That's like,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm a mile back. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
To get over a bad rehearsal, I'd say a sweet treat or something that's just like to just don't be harsh on yourself, because I think the more you dwell on things, the harder it.
And everything feels better. Everything feels simpler and easier and calmer in the morning. So often when I'm stressed about stuff, I'm like, I just need to sleep, and then in the morning I'm like, oh, it wasn't nearly as complicated and as challenging as I thought it was.
Well, FaceTime a friend and just chat. Yeah, that's what I find that's good. Just something that's not linked to it.
Will you be watching The Curious Case of Benjamin Button soon? So soon. So incredibly soon.
I keep forgetting.
Do you have any idea when Kiss Me Kate will be on TV? I don't, sadly.
I didn't realise they'd sold out performances already of Just in Time.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a small theatre, but that's also still impressive.
Yeah. I enjoyed the book of Wonderful World. I didn't have a problem with the book. It's long, but he lived a lot of life. He married a lot of women.
There's a little bit at the end that I wish was tied up better, but that's
all. Sure.
I wish that the wives had a better bit at the end.
As a reviewer, do you ever get sent official recordings of shows to review if you can't make it to the theatre? No, not unless streaming is something they're planning to do.
That was a thing more in the pandemic, where there was no way that somebody could get to see the shows, and theatre desperately needed people to cover it. Now I think it's only if it would only be if something was streamed or there was a filmed recording of some form, because the amount of approvals that would have to go through, especially now that things are back to normal.
Yeah. What is your favorite Broadway theatre you've been to?
I love the Nederlander. I think just because I love Shucked so much there. But then
I like the Music Box.
I really like the Music Box. I love going into the booth.
I like the Schoenfeld. I like the booth.
Yeah. The booth is just like this very cute.
I like the Schubert a lot.
Yeah, I like the Schubert and the booth. I like a lot of those houses, but they're quite similar.
Yeah. The Walter Kerr, also great.
Like the Walter Kerr.
Like the Walter Kerr.
I love the ones that have the under the little lobby area downstairs.
Oh, the lower lounge.
The lower lounges.
Yeah.
When they have those, and they're very nicely done. Love them a lot. The Belasco is very pretty, but a nightmare for sightlines.
Yeah.
So it's gone down in my rankings.
Biggest acting snubs for the Tonys and Olivier Awards. The winners in those categories notwithstanding, not to disparage anyone else's work or take a Tony or an Olivier away from anyone, but Charlie Stenton, crazy for you, because if you can do all of that on stage and still not win the Olivier, what the hell do you have to do to win the Olivier?
Mm-hmm.
Tony's biggest snub that I can think of. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so many, there's years of
people getting ones later on that felt like an apology for something they didn't get before.
Bernadette and Chita Rivera had that for years, where they both got Tonys like subsequently.
There was one recently that I didn't understand. I remember it really. Oh gosh, I would check my phone. I was just thinking it was in recent years. I don't know if we'd met at that point, but I remember thinking I don't understand.
I was sad Bertie Carvel didn't get one for Matilda.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Jukebox musical?
Kate. I mean, true. But I don't know if But I don't know if that theatre does because when we were in the side of the balcony and when I was looking at the side of the orchestra on the side, I was thinking, I don't know, the backstage area was so obstructed.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many shows at all you can see back there.
From the mezzanine and the orchestra, probably not, but from the balcony, there were problems in that balcony.
Yeah.
But then Broadway doesn't have a lot of balconies.
No.
And they're built different. So.
Oh.
It's outside balcony for How to Dance, and it was great still. Yeah, but there's places in that balcony where you have pillar problems, and there's places in that balcony where you have lighting rig there's places, regardless of what was happening on stage, just your field of vision in parts of that balcony are not having a good time. If you're far enough forwards on the side, that's probably, and even on the side, but it's in the back further in. Favorite jukebox musical?
Mamma Mia holds so strong.
It does, and it created the concept.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't the first, but it really made it big. It made it a big.
Do you know, honestly, Mamma Mia might hold that position for me because it just works.
Yeah,
and it's clever and it fits. And there's other jukebox musicals that I really like, but I don't think.
I'm not a fan of Jersey Boys, I'm sorry to say.
Nor me, sadly. I really like Aunt Juliet, but I feel like, but I just feel like Mamma Mia just does everything that you want it to do.
Yeah. Oh, you like Rock of Ages?
Rock of Ages is so much fun. I miss the original production of Rock of Ages because that was such a blast.
Yeah. Do you think that any of the people that have done Heathers in the UK will go over to do it in New York? I don't expect so, sadly. I think that's just a little more complicated equity-wise and union-wise.
Yeah, it'd be a lot to get people over there.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a shortage of
people in
talent in those demographics.
People in New York have been waiting a very long time to do that show.
Yeah. We've got some Adele up-tempo songs. That's how far back these questions are. Did either of you watch Beaver Forever in the West End? No, we were just saying the other day that we both missed it.
And also, I just wanted to see the Canal Boat. That's the only thing. Rumour has it, a great tempo Adele song.
Rumour has it. Rumour has it. Okay.
So you're dancing. You're literally dancing.
Okay. Kate says, please no to British people doing Heathers.
We've hit 10,000 likes on TikTok. Whoop. Thank you so much, everyone.
Whoop, whoop. Stephanie J. Block, Kona rates Cher's new biography with Cher. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
And we haven't seen Devil Wears Prada yet, but we're seeing it very soon. Soon, very soon. I mean, it's very soon.
I've overheard one very exciting confirmed casting for Hercules, and I think you might be able to guess it. Which character am I guessing? Give me that much at least. Are we allowed to post spoilers about the Wicked movie? Let's not, just in case, because it's still fresh.
I feel like if you want to, but you've got your spoiler review that people can comment on.
Yeah.
If it's just for Mickey to see.
Unbelievable that nobody has created a Clueless musical yet. I have fantastic news for you. It's opening in the West End early next year at the Trafalgar Theatre.
Clueless the musical is coming to the West End.
Who's an actor you'd like to see in a musical that's only done plays? I used to want Nina Arianda to do a musical, but you don't know what people's singing voices are, and then people get snarky online about actors singing and things.
I can say this one straight away. It's very relevant to recently. I would like to see... Oh, no, I have multiple. But I would like to see Rachel Zegler do a musical.
Rachel Zegler,
because she's only done plays on stage so far.
Yeah, Rachel Zegler is the answer to that question. Yeah. The Les Mis movie helped the show. Yes.
I love that then somebody's put about Spellbound, and the lead of that is
Rachel Zegler. Personally, I think if they change anything in Wicked, Elphaba will eventually fly over the audience in countries where insurance is not too high. She did that in Brazil, and it was great. It's very different. And again, if people are going to continue to bootleg the show and talk about, I'm getting annoyed about Gypsy. Why are we bootlegging first preview and analyzing and playing critic on TikTok of a first preview bootleg. Bear in mind, previews are not to be reviewed and bootlegs are not to be reviewed. What the heck are we doing?
Yeah, no.
Trying to come to like a, well, here's my take on her performance that I haven't seen, that I've heard recorded through the underside of someone's leg in a theatre during a preview performance.
If it's not Frozen, that's not the show.
What I will say is if Alphabet is in a harness, holding a broomstick between her legs, flying over the audience, it is a harder sing. The same way Starlight Express is a hard sing because you can't support properly. When you're being flown, you can't physically, it's just...
Also, there is the situation of like, what's the percentage then of a no-fly show? How much more does that go up?
I mean, does Mary Poppins have no-fly shows?
Mary Poppins?
I think if she was just rigged to fly the traditional way, it would probably be...
I think there's been issues with that before.
Fair. What I was going to say is, I don't want that to happen because people are going to bootleg it and talk about it online and be like, well, her Defying Gravity vocal wasn't as good. Yeah, because she's flying. She's flying. Anyway.
Kate said, I love getting the preview clips, but people need to learn how to react to it. But I also feel like I'm just going to, that's also then just promoting bootlegging.
I can't.
And I'm just like, we're not.
I know it's exciting to see, and I feel the same way, but I can't with it. And I know theatre has an accessibility problem. I know live theatre has a price point accessibility problem.
I just think there's a big thing about like when a show's Frozen, like previews are previews. Like
previews are previews.
That's my big first note is like these are the first time they've had an audience and they're learning about.
Yeah.
You don't have Letterboxd.
No, I'm not a cinema buff. I'm a theatre person. I'm absolutely loving the New York vlog, says Justin. I've never been able to go and they make me feel like I'm there thanks to the great content. I'm very glad. I always love hearing that specifically about those videos.
From me, Delphi, no procedure for a no-fly show at Back to the Future. I only had one close call in which the curtain was just dropped.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
But then I mean, I'm not surprised in some ways because of but that's still fascinating. Yeah. Because I feel like there's more time for them to get ready. The thing with Elfie is the fact that it's such a quick period of time. Like there's such a limited time of when she gets to the back of the stage to the point where she needs to be singing.
Yeah.
That there's no...
If they could like set it up in the darkness and like have a whole scene to do it, then it would happen less often. You're right.
The car is all done manually.
Yeah. Do you think they should cut the song about the bee and Why Am I So Single? No. Justice for the bee. I like the bee. We need Marissa Bodie on stage as Nessa Rose. Hopefully not a lot of CGI in part 2. I have bad news for you about a tornado. I think the only thing that could change for the stage version is allowing Alphabet and Glinda more freedom with their choices of vocals.
I do wonder whether the film might help in relaxing that because it's not specific as much. So people will start to be used to some people will be used to the film versions, and maybe that will allow performers some. But it's this give and take thing of like between everything.
Yeah. Is We Live in Cairo worth seeing? Yes, enjoyed We Live in Cairo. Very rich thematically. Do you think
about Doctor Strangelove?
Do you think the Olivier Awards should bring back the Best Newcomer Award since it's been about 16 years?
I think it's... I would like it in some ways, but I don't...
The Stage Debut Awards do a great job of that. And that's
I think this is my thing. I think those awards do really well, and they make a difference. Like, we've seen the Stage Debut Awards and make a difference for people.
And it can be... And because of what that award is, it can be hard turning a newcomer into an Olivier Award winner because it kind of already restricts them to being able to take on certain work, and it elevates them in their career in a way that may not actually be helpful.
Yeah, and I feel like we've got to the point now where the Oliviers aren't trying to do gimmick like ways of voting, and just in general, to be honest, like if that becomes very difficult for like performers it's not their first show, but they've done a few, and it puts them into a really weird place.
Yeah. Do the actors in Wicked feel a little old to be going to the first year at uni? We at no point has it mentioned how old anyone is or at what age people attend university in the fictional land of Oz. One of them is green and also flies. So I don't go to Wicked for realism. Do you think Broadway and West End prices are too high? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? I don't suppose you've seen how much money Jukebox declared in profits. Wow. Wow. Which is never a good look when a theatre company says,
but
when commercial theatre say, look how much money we made.
But was that including the money that they gained by being bought by ATG? That's the only weird thing I'd say, because G Jamson's a bit weird, because I'm like, G Jamson don't technically now have their own accounting system anymore, surely, because they are ATG Entertainment.
I don't know.
That's my only confusion there, is I didn't even think they would have their own.
I want to address both these. There are some quite jarring octave changes on the soundtrack. Are these less jarring in the film? What are the octave changes? Talk me through the jarring octave changes.
That's popular, the new ending.
It just modulates up, but that's a whole added thing that doesn't exist. Talk to me about octave changes. One musical you can't stand? Probably Jersey Boys. Hate to say it. Do you think people will start pushing for tiered pricing for Operation Mincemeat now that they have it here? Yes, I am people. Hello. I've already made a Blue Sky post about this because it annoys me. It annoys me.
That's probably because of the. I haven't listened to the soundtrack version, but I'm gathering they cut the dialogue. Might be my guess, which would be weird.
It goes from a spoken, it's me to about it, it's me. Oh, I haven't listened to that yet. I think that is different in the film cut. Yeah, because that whole section is very truncated. I don't mean truncated, I mean it's just split up. Are you planning to review drag? Yes, I'm going to do a video where I review all the shows we saw off Broadway. Big Gay Jamboree, Drag the Musical, We Live in Cairo, the other one, Help. Oh, Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now, and Teeth. All 5 of them in one video. That's coming soon. Someone just said Great Gatsby, and I don't know what the context was. Probably shows we were looking forward to it in the next year. What's one show you think needs a revival? The biggest show I think needs one is Tuck Everlasting, a criminally underrated musical with a great cast that closed because of Hamilton transferring. What needs a revival? I keep saying I would like to see On the 20th Century and The Music Man and even another She Loves Me in the West End.
I would love to see She Loves Me go to the West End.
Kiss of the Spider Woman, Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Tick Boom, I feel like in the UK would have to be so cleverly done.
They're doing a Tick Tick Boom in Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Theatre Clwyd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who might play Gatsby on the West End? Do you know? I don't know. I really don't know. They're casting right now, but I don't know. What show do you predict will be the next announced to close on either West End or Broadway? I don't like speculating about show closures because you never know who is watching these videos, and it would suck if I was working somewhere and someone was like, I think that person's place of employment is going to close.
I think Disney are too scared to look at Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. But I think Disney would be because Disney weren't even involved with Marvel at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody could save that musical and bring it back and revive it and it work, it would be Disney. But I also just see it being viewed as that was too dangerous.
Kate and Ellen, I want to weigh in on your conversation about defying gravity and momentum. This is kind of my only substantial issue with the Wicked movie, and I said this in my video. I do feel it's one cut too many in Defying Gravity, but what we get through that I really like. So I have mixed feelings about it because it's that moment of falling and flying, and I don't want to spoil it in more detail, but it doesn't stand anywhere close to the thrill of she's not the one you want, it's me, and that moment of initial flight and the fear and the adrenaline of all of that. In the film, it's different because there's so much space in between those moments. And it's me, the return, it's me, I don't know if that means as much.
I'm so glad you enjoyed Wicked, Molly.
Oh, amazing. I missed seeing the quick changes during Wicked movie. Great news for you. You can go back and see. Do you see the quick changes during the show? Do you work backstage? Do you break in? What's happening here? I saw a 2-show day of The Hills of California and Cult of Love on Saturday. How's Cult of Love? I'm curious. I found it funny that I picked 2 family drama plays that feature singing. Oh. Who is your favorite pop artist you have seen in person in a musical? I saw Sarah Bareilles do Waitress, so that's an easy answer. Favorite pop artist you have seen in person in a musical? I'm trying to think of people who are considered pop artists who I just think of as musical theatre performers.
Oh, Beverly Knight.
Beverly Knight's a great answer. Kate says Michelle Williams. Sure. She was in that musical. I think Fierro gets a soliloquy. Fierro could take an Act 2 song.
Yeah, Roses from time.
Ah.
The National Theatre's upcoming season, there's a couple of shows I just have to see. I need to see London Road because I always am like, I really should have seen my musical when it was on before. I just want to tick off having seen it because it feels like one of these like iconic shows.
Yeah. I honestly think Two Strangers should do annual Christmas shows. It should become a new London Christmas tradition. I agree. What a beautifully special piece of theatre.
It's sad that it wasn't in the West End for the Christmas once people had known it, because it was obviously off West End.
Yeah. I also want Great British Bake Off to do a tour of the UK.
Yeah. But sadly, I don't think
it is.
It can now, because it's been licensed.
It'll have a lovely life as an amateur show. That's a lovely amateur show. In London until mid-December. Any news on appearance? Oh, I don't think Sam Tutty is doing anything for the foreseeable that I know of.
I've not seen anything announced.
I'm aware Disney is making a new big musical going up on 2026, but I have no idea what story they're using. The Wiz just had a revival, but Chess needs a revival. It's been rumored for years, but don't think anything ever materialized. I think something is still. I think there was just delays because of the availability of the people. We'll see a Chess revival on Broadway within the next few years. We need a Wiz revival in the West End.
Yeah.
They can't make Wicked Part 2 too dark for kids. Have you seen a lot of the stuff for kids? It's very dark. A lot of stuff for kids is very dark. What happened to Disney doing Once in This Island and 25th Annual Platinum County Spelling Bee? Once in This Island seems to be getting momentum. Spelling Bee, I don't know.
Oh, something rotten, yes. Because they concert did really well. Yeah.
How do you feel about a Broadway version of Disney's Tangled? If it means there's a version of it where I don't have to listen to Zachary Levi, fantastic. I really want a Princess and the Frog.
That would be so good.
My wild idea about a Princess and the Frog was I thought it would be really cute to have young child actors play them when they're frogs. I thought that would be very charming with like little frog costumes. I don't know.
I wish that the Muppets musical happened.
What's wrong with Zachary Levi? So many things, unfortunately. It's very sad because he was great and she loves me.
Jonathan Bailey is Flynn Rider.
Perfect. Jonathan Bailey and Tangled for this. I mean, Flynn Rider is very Fierro coded. Legally Blonde, the musical movie. Post Mean Girls, those scare me. I don't know how I feel about. And Hairspray was great. Hairspray is the gold standard of movie to musical to movie again. but that's a hard road to walk. I mean, Wicked's not a million miles from that because obviously the Wizard of Oz of it all, but it's not movie. It's book to musical to movie.
Yes, Disney are working on the Greatest Showman musical, and there's proof of it as well, because if you go into Disney's On Stage the UK website, you will find the Greatest Showman there.
They announced it's in development at D23.
And they added it to the UK page, which made it very clear of where it was going.
Yeah, we know exactly where it's going. I hope Bring It On the Musical and In the Heights Broadway revivals. Me too. Good ideas. Yes.
In the Heights, I would love to see do revivals in the West End or on Broadway. I feel like it's time.
Yeah. We do need a Broadway revival of Aida. I love the score of Aida. I mean,
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande both said they want to do it.
Yeah. On the Town and Assassins. Oh, good shouts. Just saw a Wicked movie an hour ago and it was so good. John MC is amazing. Glad you enjoyed. Oh, potentially divisive debate question. I'm ready. That came up among my friends. What is your definition of a musical? Only stage productions? Do films like the OG Wizard of Oz or Pitch Perfect count? Those are musical movies.
I think Pitch Perfect was viewed as a musical movie and would count as it because
they use. In film, it's harder to.
I mean, it's tricky if it's diegetic or non-diegetic, and but actually, in one of the Pitch Perfect,
there's a lot of emotional weight to some of those song choices in Pitch Perfect.
But also, he sings one of the songs directly to Rebel Wilson's character in the sequel.
Yeah, but everyone knows he's singing. It's still diegetic. It's just
But there's so many movies. There's so many stage musicals that do the exact same thing. So you'd have to discount those musicals on stage if you said it wasn't.
Falsetto's the movie, please, and get Jonathan Bailey in it. Sure. You should make a video about how you became a theatre critic. That is a good video idea. I don't know if the story is that interesting, and I've told it many times. Greetings from Seattle. My favorite legit musical is anything by Roger Hammerstein, maybe The King and I.
Oh, that's interesting. Ollie said, but isn't Stereophonic technically a musical then? Here's the thing. On stage, things are called what they want to call them to get awards. Anyhow, play with music as a category that exists. But if you look, and in the UK at the Olivier Awards, we also have Best Entertainment, where musicals have existed, where plays have existed to win an award.
Theatre is art, and art is not easy to confine within these established constructs. And you end up coming down to what feels like a play and what feels like a musical. Where does the majority of the narrative take place? Where does the majority of the thrust happen in that dramatic sense? Aaron's gone.
Sorry, I needed to yawn. I don't like doing it.
And there are exceptions to every rule that we could say, well, a musical is if it does this, there are exceptions. And so it's an evasive definition.
Favorite West End theatre?
Jonathan Bailey as Joe Gillis in the Catherine Zeta-Jones Sunset Boulevard movie.
Oh,
Sorry,
that would be fun.
Just got there. Favorite West End theatre?
Prince Edward.
I like the Prince Edward's gorgeous, and
I have a lot of love as well for the Sondheim and the Gielgud are both gorgeous, and I forgot how stunning they are until recently. I haven't been mad at Victoria Palace in such a long time. So it feels just so removed from it. I love how green the Apollo Victoria is.
Yeah.
I feel very it feels so glamorous when you go to that theatre.
The Drury Lane refurb is gorgeous.
Yes. Actually, I say if you want the feel of a Broadway theatre and in the UK, go to the Apollo Victoria.
Sure.
Because you feel a lot of that there.
Yeah. The Mouse battery is empty.
Are they completely empty?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, you have to plug it in, but then when you plug it in, it won't. You can't use the mouse.
Ah.
because it's underneath.
I can't use it currently.
And I'm gathering your mice. If you have one.
I don't know even where that plugin is. I can read through the comments I can see.
So I can do this, but you can't use it. And annoyingly, this isn't placed in a position where I can press.
Does anything work there? Dan, I'm really pleased. That's very nice to hear. No, we've not been to the Wicked premieres. We went to a multimedia screening, and we went to a multimedia screening of Moana too this evening. But no, weren't at the Wicked premiere. Claymation Phantom of the Opera. That is fun. What musical actress on Broadway lived up to diva status when you saw them? Depends what you mean by diva status. Do you mean
Megan Hilty
in a good way? Oh yeah,
Queen Diva. I was like this
in a good way.
Yes. And Jen Simard. That duo, phenomenal.
I love the vocals, but I wish there were fewer runs added, each to their own.
I haven't been to the Lyceum in the West End in such a long time that I've really forgot what that theatre looks like.
Yeah.
If we could add a category to the Olivier Awards, what would it be? Best book of a musical, best score
Best
of
book
a musical.
Best score of a musical, best director of a musical.
Yes.
Please review the Oliver revival if you've seen. I'll be seeing it in January. Try the Junior's Pancakes. That's what I've been told. That's what Dylan said. Elf the musical came back to Broadway for holiday season. It did, and it's the most Christmas fun you can have on Broadway. It's a lovely festive time. And I cried. I often cry at Elf. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Stephen Schwartz has said he would consider putting in the new version of Popular into the show, especially the ending. I don't know if we need that. The film ending of Popular in the show. I don't know if we need that.
It doesn't really work with the timings, I don't think.
The show's also quite long.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what?
Oh, Kate sent the clip of him saying that. I also think it's an exciting time. And people get asked things on these press tours and they're like, sure. And he's just like birthed that version. Like with the Wicked movie, it's the thing he's just been working on. So he feels very creatively close to. And it's like when Shayna Taub got asked, like, would you like to do Stuffs in the West End one day? And she was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. Because what are you going to say? Are you going to say no? Is he going to say like, would you ever consider like doing some of these changes back into the stage show? The answer has to be, yeah, maybe. The answer's not like, no. You could like be very mindful at the time, be like, well, that works for its own reason. This works. I think in some of those circumstances, enthusiasm leads the way, and it doesn't necessarily mean something's going to happen on that front.
There's also timings in general.
Yeah. Creepiest West End theatre. It used to be The Fortune when it was Women in Black. No longer. I've got like a hair in my mouth. Ew. Sorry.
There we go, everyone. Interesting that people find the Gillian Lynn scary. The concreteness, when you leave a theatre, it can be scary.
You don't need to be scared
the
by the Gillian
leaving.
Cinderella's closed.
The Fortune legroom is pretty terrifying.
The Fortune legroom is terrifying.
The front row of the Ambassadors Theatre is also scary.
Sailing back.
There is no legroom existing.
If I unplug this, is it charged enough?
You'll find out. Yeah.
You scroll down and put it back on charge. I've lost it. I know I'm still a mile back in these questions. Oh no. Cool.
Tell me where you are and I can see if I can press down and it moves.
Oh, you have been having a rough stagey year. Ethan said his wig took as long as Cynthia's makeup some days even. Wow. Will you be going to see Calamity Jane in 2025? Yes. Dale is another one. Did you guys make it up to the vessel at Hudson Yards? Not this time.
We didn't make it up there. We got to it and saw people going in up it, but we didn't go up ourselves.
Blanche from Golden Girls played Marble once. Yes, Rue McClanahan. She did indeed. I'm worried the Tin Man and the Scarecrow won't look good in part 2. I feel like it might look stupid up close. They aesthetically, hair and makeup and costume, have they done anything in part 1 to make you concerned? My answer is
Do you know
no.
what's interesting about that? Is how the design looks. Because obviously on film, they've got to make sure it does not look at all like the original Wizard of Oz. It'll be interesting to see how...
I don't think they have to make sure it doesn't look at all like the original Wizard of Oz.
They do. Because they're still rights.
I know, but they're closer in the film than the stage show are to, like, Glinda's dress is pink again.
They're allowed to be pink, but not the same shade. It's still very, like... It's still, I think there's still 15 years or something of the copyright still. I just mean it'll be interesting because there's, like, certain things that they can't make them look too much like. And we like... The Lion is the one I'm most intrigued about.
Does TKTS London not sell seats for National Theatre, Barbican, etc.? Not National, I don't think, but Barbican, I think so. I think they did for Barbican.
I think they did for Barbican, yeah. I think Kisme Kate went through them.
Thanks for watching from Nebraska, Riley.
Thank you so much.
Seattle Susie Q. I'm going to New York in 2 weeks. Tickets already bought for Death Becomes Her, Elf, Hills of California, Maybe Happy Ending, and Cabaret. More choices as it gets closer.
That's amazing.
That's already a great trip. Have a lovely time. Going to catch the Ghibli Fest tonight. The Irish election is this Friday. There you go.
Well, don't say it again. It'll appear.
Sorry.
Just read it and don't say it.
I can't wait for the Hadestown London cast recording on December 6th. Is 35 too old for Cynthia to play Elphaba? No. We're all theatre fans, and so I get very tired of people policing. It's always women as well. We only ever have these conversations about women being the right age, I find.
Do we think here we are won't extend just it might get filmed for MT Live, but the National don't give gaps for extensions other than like a week.
Yeah. Do we feel Christmassy yet?
I have done them and I've not done them, and I have done them and I've not done.
I'm getting there. We need to put up decorations. That's what we need to do.
I haven't been in Covent Garden to see all of their decorations yet. That will give me the vibes.
Do you think a show these days can pull a crowd without a big name of some kind behind it? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Mary on Broadway is a hugely hot ticket just based on great word of mouth. Operation Mincemeat in the West End is a great based on word of mouth. It still happens.
6. They've never had big names in it. They've just created names.
Feelings on the Hadestown cast recording not being the full show and only select songs. It's a lot
of the cast recordings. It's because I think it's because it was recorded live, and obviously the next day, Grace and Donald both left the show. They were no longer in the show, so they could not record the show again because they had physically left the show.
I find that foolish.
So I think then it was decisions of which songs were people happy with and which ones were they not happy with.
I am looking forward to Great Gatsby next year. I'm intrigued about casting, and I hope this doesn't preclude the other Gatsby from trying to come over here, which I heard was on the cards. I hope this doesn't just become the default Gatsby, because that would be upsetting.
Why have I just been told... So it says live ending in 25 seconds due to multiple violations. There have been no violations. Thank you very much. What's been...
Oh, Aaron's having a TikTok confusion. Surprised you still love the Nederlander after what they did to Shucked. I know.
I didn't. This is very confusing, everyone. I'm sorry. I don't know if... What?
You okay?
Yes. Hopefully it still stays up, everyone. If it goes down, please let me know. I'm just slightly stressed.
Recommendation for your next stage trip across...
Thank you, everyone. It was a fake. Somebody just put it in the chat. Thank you for everybody telling me. But okay, I see. Thank you. Yes, somebody had put it in there as a...
Yeah, it's been more... Yeah, you're fine.
Cool.
A recommendation for your next NYC theatre trip. Across from the Winter Garden Theatre, they opened a famous soup dumpling restaurant branch from Taiwan. It's called... Oh, okay. Intrigued? Do you know the Maury Yeston musical of Phantom? I only know the song This Place Is Mine that Carlotta sings. Biggest snub in 2023 was Chip Zien in Harmony. Gavin Creel got snubbed when all three Billy Elliots got the Tony. He got one eventually. All is well. Tom Francis may not get a leading actor nominee. He may not, or he may. That's how that works. Did you guys like the new Palace Theatre? Yes.
It was very pretty.
Lovely. It's lovely.
And so modern to say that it's not a new theatre, it's just a lifted theatre.
I'm scrolling.
I muted MK, I think. So it shouldn't be there anymore.
I've never seen Repo, the Genetic Opera. Early predictions for the featured actor Tony. Jack Malone, please.
Jonathan Bailey as Gatsby? No, I think somebody put that as a concept, and I'm actually like, that would work.
Talked about this. We talked about this not too long ago.
That would work.
But he's not free. He's doing Richard II.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so. Yeah, because that's after Guys and Dolls closes.
But that's only in Feb.
Maybe not at the same time. I don't know. He's not going to do a Great Gatsby.
No, he won't do it, but interesting.
What part would we love to play on stage?
Bulk.
Milky White. Ariana Grande coming back to Broadway like she wants to in 13, the musical. Ariana was understudy for Ali Trim, who plays Glinda on Broadway. I'd love Ariana to go back to Broadway. Are you optimistic for the new Steps musical? I've seen it.
We saw
I have things to say about it. I'm a big Steps fan.
The new Robbie Williams film confuses me so much. Every time I see the trailer, I'm like,
yeah. We've both seen Aber Voyage. It must be seen to be believed. Norway is about to have their first ever Wicked production, but for some reason the run is just a month long. Still excited though. Thoughts on Audra and Gypsy? Haven't seen it yet. Aaron, you hear something like Owen Wilson when you say wow tonight. Wow. Why aren't there more pro shots of shows? It's expensive and unions.
It's a very country thing. Like a lot of shows end up coming to the UK to be filmed.
Yeah.
But also, there have been a lot. I'm just going to go back to this bit about pro shots. There has been a lot of musicals that have been filmed that are waiting to find a place to go.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. And if these films aren't being bought by the streaming services and making a lot of money to go on there, they're not going to film more because that's an issue.
Cher would have been a great Madame Morrible. I'm not about to disagree with you. Oh, Miss Alphabet. Why don't you like Jersey Boys? That's a That's a video all of its own when I get around to it.
Barbra Streisand Morrible.
Barbra Streisand would never play Morrible.
No, Bette Midler. Bette Midler Morrible. We already kind of know what she'd be like.
Yeah.
Because of Winifred Sanderson.
Yeah. Mickey Jo, have you heard anything about Back to the Future leaving the Adelphi? As I overheard 2 people who work for Nederlander theatres saying the theatre's likely to be free. Have you heard it? I've not, but Back to the Future has had a great run in the West End. Everything is ultimately finite, so it wouldn't surprise. I'm not expecting Back to the Future to be a decade-long runner. Falsetto's movie, please. Are you surprised that Tammy Faye is closing already? Sadly not. It never really sold well enough. What do you think about revival of City of Angels? I think it's so underrated. Yes, I saw the Don Mar production. It was lovely. Have you seen the musical Suffs?
Yes.
I assume you mean.
Yeah,
yes.
That's an autocorrect.
Seen it twice. Reviewed it on YouTube. Loved it. 2004 again. Should Wicked have won the Best Musical Tony over Avenue Q? Both great. Hard to say.
That's really difficult to say. Because,
ultimately, I think
Wicked won Best Book.
It won Best Book.
Best Actress.
Best Leading Actress. I think Best New Musical at the Tonys, at the Oliviers, should be about the one that is pushing musical theatre into the future. And ultimately, it's Wicked that did that. Because it shaped contemporary musical theatre and commercial contemporary musical theatre. Shucked, and The Book of Mormon and Dear Evan Hansen all exist in a post-Wicked landscape. Probably more if I think about them. The contemporary musical theatre sound was shaped by Jason Robert Brown and Pasek and Paul.
This is tricky though, because I think there's a lot of musicals that would not exist without Avenue Q doing well.
Sure.
Because I think Avenue Q allowed musicals to not to be that kind of parody comedy, to be slightly edgier, to be edgy and to say words that were said and that biting humor and stuff. And I don't think we've seen a lot of on Broadway in the West End sentence, but I feel like Avenue Q opened up that being accepted by the mainstream and not being off Broadway.
Yeah.
But I also fully agree with what you're saying, that like musically, without Wicked, a lot of vocals would not be where they are today.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Here and Now musical? You will hear my thoughts on that in the coming days, hopefully. Now that you've been to New York at different times of year, what is your favorite month to go? Is April the best time to go? I'm a big fan of October. March and October, I think, are the best times to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
March and October. I liked our April trip.
Yeah.
July is just, it's horrible.
April's quite stressful because a lot of shows open in April.
April was busy.
We have been to Soho Place. Love it. It's a very beautiful theatre. This one, I just need to say, would Book of Mormon have done well if Avenue Q didn't exist because of the style of comedy? Book of Mormon couldn't exist if Avenue Q didn't exist because it's the same composer.
Yeah. I'm getting through these questions. I'm doing it. I think all shows should have pins in the merch, and any cast recordings should come out on vinyl.
I don't know if enough people are buying vinyl, but I think it's a good. But I think then again, how many people are buying CDs? And vinyl at least is more of a collector's situation. You could get people to sign it and like everything. But pins, yes. When I go to a theatre and they don't have a pin for the show, I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Particularly as it's one of the cheapest options for people to buy merch. And in the UK is better for having them. But I'm like, if we're not got playbills, can we have pins? Because people want small things that they can keep from shows.
Yeah. Favorite snacks to eat during a show? We don't really eat snacks during a show. Was there not talk somewhere that Chess was waiting for Leah Michelle to become available? That is the last thing I heard as well. She was having a baby.
I really hope that, very random aside, but I saw somebody say about mugs and bottle merch for shows, and I'm like, there's Stanley seemed to be teasing that they're going to bring the Wicked cups to the UK, and I'm like, if they do we finally get our first Stanleys? And will we use them?
Did you see a face in the crowd? No, missed out on that one, sadly. I am going to review Curious Case of Benjamin Button as soon as I have seen it, which is happening this week, because we were away during its opening. Any thoughts on the original movie musicals that came out this year, like Joker 2 and Amelia Perez? No relation to me. Haven't seen either.
No.
Would be more intrigued about Amelia Perez, just from seeing an interview with the cast talking about it on the Graham Norton show.
And it's interesting thinking Selena Gomez did a musical this year.
Joker 2 is such weird marketing and branding, because Joker 1 and all of the noise around that suggested to me that was not culturally something for me. That felt like a film for angry young straight men. And they historically don't love musical theatre, so that felt like a real curveball of a sequel.
Do you know what? Sorry, I just thought Selena Gomez would have been a very fun Sally Bowles.
She would still.
Yeah, she would still.
Yeah. Thoughts on Audra and I still want Florence Pugh to do it. Thoughts on Audra and Gypsy? Don't understand why so divisive. Neither do I. She's an accomplished Tony Award-winning actress, and I don't even think we even have the right to talk about her online the way we do and play casting director and be like, well, I don't really know if I support this casting. Like, she's the most decorated Tony Award-winning performer in the history of musical theatre. And don't even talk to me about the preview bootlegs. I was thinking about a Robert directed A View from the Bridge, and Tobias Menzies and Leah Williams would be my choice for Eddie and Beatrice if we're casting his frequent collaborators. Oh, I'd watch that. I would go see that. Will you guys try to see George Clooney in his new Broadway play at the Winter Garden Theatre in the spring? I'm open to it. I'm open to the idea of it. City of Angels is very cleverly written and one of the best Cy Coleman scores. I saw it in London with Hayden Gwynne and the late Martin Smith and the late Hayden Gwynne, sadly. It was so good, but somehow it got forgotten except in Smash. Or maybe we're not talking about City of Angels. When was it in Smash? City of Angels in Smash? I'm confused. Do you have any news about the movie version of Kiss with the Spider-Woman with J-Lo? I heard they finished filming.
They had
my
drama.
question, well, I don't know if they did. My theory was, is it going to get stuck in a divorce? Because
that's what people are wondering.
Various creative projects have been lost over the years because they're stuck in divorce limbo. I think that was a problem with Doubtfire for a long time before it ever came to the stage. And you know what that's just reminded me of? The Merrily We Roll Along movie. How's that doing? How's that doing?
We have had no updates, and I think that's how it's doing.
It makes me nervous. I'm concerned about them all. There were some test screenings a couple months ago, and people were very positive about J-Lo. Good for her. Did you try the Digital Rush or lottery tickets on telecharge when you were in NYC? I don't know if we necessarily did all those things this time, but we usually do, yes.
Christian Ball's character was offered to do a revival of City of Angels in Smash.
Oh, to direct it?
Yes, I think so. I do remember that.
Perhaps.
Wasn't that the bit where they had a big row and he nearly left the...
He did leave.
Yeah.
She was off writing what was apparently going to be like a Pulitzer, a Tony-winning play version of The Great Gatsby, which is hilarious. We had City of Angels. There was a revival years ago at the Donmar Warehouse that then transferred years later to the Garrick Theatre in the West End, and then the world ended, sadly.
We do try the Digital Russian lottery tickets.
Aside from Audra, what person are you most excited to see in Gypsy?
Leslie Margarita. I've been waiting for her to come back to Broadway.
I'm very excited to see Joy and
Woods.
Jordan, but also Danny Burstein, who I don't think I've ever seen on stage.
Don't think so.
And I've loved many of the recordings of things that he's done, so that would be very exciting for me. Did you see Cabaret new cast on Broadway? Yes. Video coming very, very soon. What do you think about Ryan McCartan as Great Gatsby? I think he's going to sound great. I think he'll be very charming. I'm intrigued to see how he does. Obviously, Wicked didn't need the wind to stay afloat. Very true. Very true. Jodie Steele as Jordan in The Great Gatsby, please. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, I can see that.
That's fun.
Yeah, I can see that.
Giving you that new money choreo. West End definitely need playbills.
Yeah.
It's a controversial conversation, but I agree that they would be of value here. Can someone please hook me on Gypsy? Never looked into it or even listened. I feel like I need to. What's the best way to hook you into Gypsy? I don't know. Go listen to either the early 2000s or the mid to late 2000s Broadway cast album. Those are good. I think those are good starting points. Or just the Glee covers of things to familiarize yourself with the material. Where did we get up to?
To all the people that get pin badges.
Woo! I saw Cabaret yesterday live in NYC and was quite disappointed. Was that your experience with the NYC production? No, I don't think I've ever really been disappointed by this iteration of Cabaret.
The only thing I think at the minute is because some things have been like halved. the pre-show. I think
Yeah,
the
but I don't
pre-show.
think it tells.
No, it's not massively different.
I also want there to be Huaboon merch for maybe Happy Ending.
Yes, Waboon.
Yes. Moana 2 versus Wicked this coming week. Going to be very interesting to see how that goes down. Kate says Patty cast recording. Sure. That's probably the first one I listened to fully when I discovered Gypsy. But I think I discovered Gypsy because of Glee. Don't at me. Don't cancel me. I'm too young.
I think the next normal Proshot's coming at the end of the year.
Yes.
That's why I've
That's the
heard.
rumor. Hello, Michael in Chicago. If Leah Michelle was to do chess, would it not be lined up for Tony Award season? Wasn't Darren Criss linked? Did he do a concert? Did he do it in concert? I do remember some version of this conversation, yeah. Are there any Broadway theatres you particularly like or dislike? We talked about some of our favourites earlier. I don't think there's any I dislike.
No.
Gonna have to think about it.
I think there's theatres.
The Marquee is a different vibe.
Yes, but I like it, but it's very different.
But it's a
It
different
is.
vibe.
It is very cruise ship. I will say.
Yeah.
I think my only thing with Broadway theatres is some of them I'm like, oh, I would not sit in these certain places because of legroom. Legroom, I think I've learned some of the mezzanines are extremely tight on legroom, and I do not have long legs, but I'm still like, ugh.
Katie, break a leg for your Little Mermaid audition. Saw Benjamin a short while ago, as per your recommendation. Cried through Act 2. It was brilliant. I'm so excited to see it again. Other than Hello Dolly, got any other Muppet remake recommendations? Muppet Hello Dolly is, to date, one of my proudest suggestions. What else would be good with the Muppets? They did a version of Moulin Rouge within A Very Merry Muppet Christmas, but I would like to see a fuller version of the Muppet Moulin Rouge. I think it has legs. Frog's legs. Or
I mean,
why was I going to say Titanic?
Muppets Into the Woods just feels very fitting.
That's a whole history. Yeah.
Because there's a lot that Piggy could do in that.
Would you have Piggy as the witch or Piggy as the baker's wife?
Piggy is the witch.
I don't know.
You would not give Piggy the diva role?
I think Baker and Baker's wife are the only humans and everyone else is a Muppet.
Yeah. Why would I? Oh. We have Frozen on TikTok. There we are.
We're back.
We're back.
Do you think the Wicked movie was too backlit? I saw that criticism and don't agree. At no point while I was watching it did I think this is too backlit. There are moments where I would have liked the colours to be more vibrant and familiar of the glorious Technicolor of The Wizard of Oz, but I didn't have a backlit issue. Thoughts on Hello Dolly UK? I shared them in a video. You can go and check that out. Too nuanced and complicated to summarize. What forgotten shows do you want to see encores put on? Thoughts on The Baker's Wife or 110 in the Shade? Both. Yes, both great shouts. What else do I want encores to do?
Encores
they've
will
done
do
a lot of the
Lempica
ones.
one year.
They will at some point, yeah. They've done a lot of the ones I would like for them to do not too long ago. Tricky question. Yeah. I feel like encores now also have a slightly more commercial mindset than in years past.
There's no future lives of shows rather than it just being a concert of a forgotten musical.
Very excited about Great Comet at the Don Mar. Do you think Drag the Musical needs a cast album? I liked it. I don't think it needs a cast album. If they want to make a cast album, they should go ahead and do that. It looks like Mandy Gonzalez is covering more days for Nicole right now. They also announced Caroline Bowman's standby debut as Norma for January 12th. Yes.
I think we kind of need to expect that, though, because the London run was like not that long.
Yeah, the London run was considerably shorter.
Yeah.
And
so Holiday, when you're doing a much longer run, Holiday is written into your contract.
Yeah. Will you see Little Shop in Sheffield? That will make the cut. I think we are going to try and see that just before, at some point in December at least.
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Let's run away to Atlantic City. Let's feel the wind in our hair. Greetings, Robert, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Never been there. Been to New Jersey, not to Atlantic City.
Oh, I got sent an elephant. Thank you.
Ah, lovely. That was an elephant noise. Like water for elephants. Anyway, the Frogs done by Muppets, sure. Wasn't too surprised Gatsby is coming to London, but didn't expect the venue, but couldn't think of an alternative venue. There is a real estate problem in London at the moment. Very few theatres are free.
This is the big thing.
This is never going to happen, but I need Alexander Hansen to play Paul Zimmer in Here We Are, even though I think that's going to be the Rory Kinnear role. Do you know, I don't know. I think we just need I need to know everyone. I need to know everyone.
I'm very intrigued in the two bigger female roles. Muppets was a divorce exists.
That's happened.
Yeah.
Muppets was divorced as a thing.
Muppets was divorced as a thing.
Piggy plays all the witches.
Yeah. And it's very enjoyable.
Yeah. The Mez at the Lunt-Fontanne was perfect for Sweeney. Good leg room. I don't remember having an issue with the Mez at the Lunt-Fontanne. Been there twice now.
Well, Caroline Bowman's about to be in Smash as well straight after, so it's a very big year for Caroline Bowman on Broadway.
Real estate hard on Broadway now, except for the Palace. Not in the same way, because Broadway has a lot of something had a crown briefly.
I got a fest crown. Thank you.
Broadway has a lot of new things that have recently opened. Real estate is hard in the West End because a lot of shows have come in over the last couple of years.
We're nearly at 15k likes. Thank you.
And stuck around. Example, Back to the Future. Example, Moulin Rouge. Example, Mean Girls. There's a lot of shows that won't necessarily be going anywhere anytime soon. And so there are fewer spaces for transferring shows for new musicals to open up. And so we're seeing a decent rotation of plays at places like the Duke of York's, like the Noel Coward. But we're seeing possibly fewer commercial new musical productions transferring musical productions in the West End.
We also have a big issue where we don't have many spaces for big musicals. Like smaller musicals, sure, but big houses are not becoming free.
Yeah, Broadway does not have a real estate problem because half a dozen shows are closing.
Things change every season. Like the seasons are a big thing on Broadway in general, whereas we do not have that bigger season situation in the UK.
Yeah, you're right. Caroline Bowman does not get her flowers as much as she should. Fantastic touring Elsa and Evita, and now Norma Desmond as well, who has played all three. Possibly she is the first. I don't think any of the Elsas have been Norma Desmonds.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George the Cat. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Catching alternates at Why Am I So Single, maybe? I would like to. If I could magically go to one where they're both on, that would be fantastic.
Were you saying the alternates?
Yeah.
I'd love to see Colette do that.
Yeah. Encores should do Steel Pier. That was one of the first Broadway appearances of a young Kristen Chenoweth, I believe, in Steel Pier. And doesn't Steel Pier have the song Everybody's Girl? I'm everybody's girl. I think it does. Caroline is going to be a young Norma. That production doesn't fixate on her age, and neither should we. In general, I think we should spend less time perceiving actresses' ages and worrying and fixating on the extent to which we believe them to be the age they're playing on stage.
Better layout of theatres, West End or Broadway? Is Broadway too clumped, or is the West End too spread out?
West End is too spread out.
Yeah, because you don't get that interaction between like all the performers in the district of the West End.
The
like,
clumping,
you don't feel it.
The clumping is a challenge, and when every theatre on 45th is all queuing up to all go in for the same matinee, that can be a lot. And Sunset Boulevard has encountered traffic problems, but you get magical things like a show is opening at the Music Box and the cast at the Jacobs are leaning out of their windows to cheer them on the carpet. You get performers in relationships walking each other to each other's theatres and then crossing the street to go to work. You feel the buzz and the magic of the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District.
Everybody in the area is there normally for theatre.
Sadly, you don't get that in the West End just because of geography.
Yeah.
And we can't take geography personally.
And I feel like also we have to use the underground system a lot more to get about, whereas on Broadway, you only really use the underground system if you're the subway, if you're like leaving Midtown.
Yeah. Deborah Monk did do Everybody's Girl in Steel Pier. Yes, I remember that. I mean, I wasn't there, but I've watched the recording of her doing it on some talk show. Could it be that you don't have large season changes on the West End because Andrew Lloyd Webber owns multiple of the theatres? This we cannot attribute to Andrew Lloyd Webber. Not everything is his fault. No, some years there are. We had a year at the Oliviers where there were no like commercial new musicals, and then we had another year where there were lots. It's just things just work slightly differently here, and the Oliviers don't mean as much, which means the timings of the award season don't matter as much in the same way they do in New York. Everything opens right before the Tonys because they're all fixated on the Tonys. Are you excited for the West End Hadestown cast recording? Yes. In regards to theatre availability, Melbourne, Australia only gets to keep shows for a couple of months at a time, typically at the most, because we only have a handful of theatres. Yeah. Is Gypsy likely to transfer to the West End? I don't know. I don't know.
It's not been that long since the Imelda production, really, in relative.
No Gypsy has ever transferred transatlantically since the Lansbury revival in the 80s. I think one of them was meant to, but then didn't.
The Imelda production was meant to transfer.
But then didn't.
I
think the Bernadette one was meant to come here, but then didn't. So I wouldn't expect to. Do you think the National will record Here We Are? I need to see it. Hard to say. They so often, because they do a lot of stuff on NT Live. They did Follies.
I feel like it's likely. I feel like that probably came into discussions.
Yeah. And there's a long, proud history of recording Sondheim shows with beautiful proshots, so it would be great if we could. Next normal filmed recording we think is coming towards the end of this year, around Christmas time. Encores should do the revised Mac and Mabel. I love Mac and Mabel. Yes, they should. Live show recording versus studio recording for cast albums. The new Sunset Boulevard one makes a strong case for live show recordings. It is sensational. Adina will always be Maureen Johnson in Rent, except to those that she is Elphaba in Wicked, and to those that she is Elsa in Frozen. We were saying the other day, has any performer, any actor, ever been attached to so many huge properties that were all like
theatre?
So, but so like era defining and so zeitgeist piercing and really broke through to the extent that like Adina could have been known as the one from Rent her entire career, or the one from Wicked, or the one from Frozen. Like most actors, if they get one of those, that's huge. That's career making. 3 times. Huge. Will be interesting to see Tom Francis do his outdoor walk during the Tonys outside of Radio City. I kind of think he'll do something inside the building.
He could. I wonder if he'll do something at Rockefeller.
He can't. That's too. He's got to cross it. No, that's too much. That's too far. Just the aisle of the orchestra in Radio City takes you half the song to get down. It's huge.
It could be an extended cut.
Do we think the Witches will be back anytime soon? I hope so. I'd like to see the Witches come back.
It felt like it was. I think from what an article said, they've been rewriting and reworking the musical from what they learned from a national run. So I think it'll appear again, but I think it's just they want to get it right if they're going to do a commercial run.
Spend in Manchester. I don't know much about Spend, but if you've never been to the Royal Exchange, it's a fascinating theatrical space. We're thinking about going to see that one. The cast is great. Intrigued.
The full show trip. Mattress, Sunset, Roommate, and O'Mary.
Oh, that's a great trip. Very varied. That's a nice varied trip. On things being close together, getting dinner before a show once, my dad said, that guy at the next table looks like an actor. I glanced over and it was someone in the show we were about to see. That's a very New York, Midtown Manhattan experience to have. I was trying to say that Adina also had that iconic Oscars moment with John Travolta. She did indeed, the wickedly talented.
Adele does he?
Do you think any of the Bath cast of Farewell, Mr. Halfman will transfer with the show to its run at the Park Theatre? I was hoping Nigel Lindsay would, as I missed the show in Bath. I don't know. I do not know. Are you planning to see Cyrano at the Park Theatre? I'm seeing that next month, I think, or I'm hoping to. I think I might have already RSVP'd.
I think you have, because it's in your diary.
I'm seeing Cyrano again. Woohoo!
It's in your diary.
One of my favourite things, or the best thing I think I saw at the Edinburgh Fringe this year.
There's a rumour that there is a secret pathway from a backstage of Radio City to Rockefeller Centre.
Oh. Saw the Lightning Thief stage, and it's very different from the Broadway and US versions. It would be, yes.
When are we going back to New York City? We don't know currently, but it might be a while.
Might be a while.
Might be a while,
We
sadly.
did a great job of seeing a lot on our most recent trip. How will Stranger Things do on Broadway? Thanks in advance. I think a lot of it depends on if they can continue to sell the idea that it's must-see viewing for the fans. That's what they really did very smartly in London, was they convinced everyone that it was essential.
I feel a bit better actually seeing the space of a marquee and the size of it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see. I think it might not be as much of a slam dunk on Broadway. Broadway does not respond as well to overtly commercial cash grab properties.
Well,
you're going to say Harry Potter's continues to run.
Mm-hmm.
They do, but I was thinking like your Pretty Woman's, your Doubtfires, your...
I feel like Stranger Things is different though, because it's not... I feel like Stranger Things is different because it's not a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when they're not a musical and they're based on IP, they have a much stronger chance than if they were a musical, because I think musical makes people tilt heads, whereas saying it's like the Stranger Things on stage and it's linked to it and this is very different.
Yeah. Why Might a Single still not having released Disco Ball is actually my villain origin story, Jocelyn. I am right there with you. I don't know why PBS keeps cancelling the airing of the Ragtime Reunion concert. Maybe the noise of me crying so loudly in the orchestra ruined the audio, in which case I apologise. What do we think about Mincemeat selling out their first preview in a few hours? Thrilled for them. I'd be curious to know how many... the extent to which it's people who have seen the show before and are flying to see it from the UK, and the extent to which it's new and curious folk. But I really do hope it does very well.
Are you coming to watch us in Anne Juliet in Hamburg?
Yes,
we really
possibly
want to.
Not for a little while, but would
we
love
really
to.
Want to.
Desperate to go back to Hamburg because we had a really lovely time. I loved Hamburg.
And I'm really fascinated by like how that production goes from German to English to German to English.
Yeah. And it would be another show we've seen in 3 countries around the world.
Yeah.
Which is always fun.
And I really liked that theatre as well. It'd be very different and I kind of want to see it as well because it'd be seeing a show that's so bright in a theatre where the last show we saw there was very dark.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think will be the next Sondheim show to be revived on Broadway? Please. Do you think it may be a bit? I feel like we've had the majority of them in the past 15 years. Maybe the political climate will be such that Assassins will feel relevant again. The other one that people have talked about is Night Music. I think a Night Music might be due.
Ooh, Emily asked if you are going to do a Starlight Express cast recording listen through.
I am. Someone asked me on the Saturday, it came out on the Friday, and someone on the Saturday said, how come we haven't seen a Starlight Express cast album review yet? The answer was, I was out of the country. I think I was standing on the street somewhere in Manhattan doing something. Yes, at some point, yes, I definitely will be doing a reaction video on the place with the longer videos, YouTube, to Starlight Express.
Oh, Isabel, no, we didn't find out what Eleanor Worthington Cox was hinting at the role in your interview.
No, still don't know what that was. The guy your dad thought looked like an actor was Howard McGillen. Oh, lovely Howard McGillen. Do you guys watch Grease? No, so the grosses in the UK are not published.
No, so this is why people get very confused when it's like...
You don't know.
When people say, oh, if this show is struggling, this show something, it's like, well, there's no proof.
Yeah.
Because if you go to even the ticket selling site of the show, that sometimes is hiding tickets that are blocked because they're being sold by a third-party ticket seller, like there's just no way of knowing, and even then, you don't know the grosses, you don't know the running costs, you don't know the capacity. We just don't get any of that, which is a blessing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's pros and negatives. Like for pro, that I think one of the biggest pros of not knowing in the UK is that no actor has to be publicly so nervous about everybody saying, will they still be there or not?
Yeah.
Because people can still comment, but there's no like factual things. Like an actor's not going to have to wake up every Tuesday to look at the grosses, because I think that would stress me out. But then the downside for actors, because I think about this a lot for the performers and people and crew that work in a show. The downside is that if they don't know how well a show's doing, then how do you know if their wages are correct?
How do you know to get ready and audition for the next thing, to say yes to your agent when they email?
Yeah, there's pros and negatives.
I think the Devil Wears Prada gala is going to be quite the event, and it wouldn't surprise. I've heard similar to what you have heard, Jocelyn. Anna Wintour, sure, would make sense. Thank you so much
for all these very cool gifts. Thank you.
Glenn has just seen Six in Singapore. Was a great cast, almost West End standard. That's the UK tour cast.
Oh,
they're traveling the world.
And it is West
the
End.
UK and international tour cast. And they're
amazing
super
people.
talented.
Oh, that's the new cast as well, because they've changed.
Yeah, Morgan.
That scene is just gives me such Megan Hilty and Lee Ashford vibes.
Do you think The Devil Wears Prada will be the more successful of Elton John's new musicals this year? Yes. I think regardless of how it's reviewed, regardless of which one is better, I haven't seen Devil Wears Prada, I have no idea. I think undeniable that it will run longer than Tammy Faye has run on Broadway. Sadly. Things also flop faster in New York. Very few things flop that fast here. Nice to see Lauren Samuels and Danielle Hope touring in USA. What's Danielle Hope touring in? We went to see Lauren. We saw Lauren leading the Wicked tour in Toronto. Yeah. It's currently in Seattle, but she's about to take a week off. But it's going to somewhere like California. It might be going to California.
Thank you, everybody. 15k likes on the TikTok live.
Danielle Hope is in Shucked.
Wait, what? No. When did that happen? When did that happen?
It's going to blow my entire mind. I think it's Danielle Wade in Shucked.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Danielle Wade's in Shucked. That's Maisie. Yes. No, Danielle Hope. Danielle Hope was here.
Just finding out what Danielle Hope is up to at the moment. I don't think she's in Shucked.
No, she was here recently.
She's on
came
Instagram
back to the UK.
holding a horse. She's done something on Netflix.
Oh yeah, no, Danielle Wade.
Yes. Fair. Fine. Well, that was briefly.
We're both like, what?
It's like, who's it? What's it? Who is the most exciting musical theatre writer currently working? Jack Godfrey.
Jack Godfrey is very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, we've caught up.
We have.
Oh yes, the South Pacific reunion at the Lincoln Center.
If you've never watched that Proshot, it's marvelous.
Let me just check that it's clean. It's gone. Oh.
I think. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. I was waiting for that. Validation.
To mention, I'm fascinated by what his third musical hopefully will be.
Yeah, and then please fourth and fifth and sixth.
And also, I just want to know who's writing the. I want to know whether the Long in the Works Pride musical is a jukebox or original music, and if so, I want to know who's composed the music.
Does Tim Minchin have the best hit rate for musical theatre?
Yes, because those are the two.
He has 100%. Tim Minchin has only ever written like top tier, extraordinary pieces of musical theatre. He's only ever given us A+.
So that makes me go. Robert put, you guys don't sound very British lately. Must be seeing too much theatre.
I've always sounded like that. As in, we're talking about too many different things, or has my accent changed? I've always sounded like this.
I don't think our accents have changed. I mean, we've been code switching a lot.
We have been code switching.
Which we both like to
since I
take
taught
quite a
you
lot.
that phrase, you've been using that over and over.
My new phrase. But it is true, like, because we've been in New York for ages. We were in New York for a while, and then we're back
Groundhog
here.
Day. Groundhog Day is the other Tim Minchin musical.
We do know how to say a lot of kind of, we'll say intermission, and so they go, oh wait, interval if we're here, and say both, so we'll say mezzanine and
yeah. I don't mean hit rate. Okay, I don't know. I don't mean hit rate for commercial success. I mean like
very good writing,
quality, like, because I don't think Sondheim didn't write exclusively perfect musicals, and I think Tim Minchin maybe has.
Do you want to do explaining code switching?
Code switching.
We're going to have to explain it.
Code switching is something you do in any kind of a social situation where you adjust your language or behavior based on the people who are around. It's something that the queer community talk about doing when they're around straight people. But first or second trip we ever did to New York, we were chatting to American friends, and I said, like, oh, I was thinking about that earlier during the intermission, and I was just like, rather than correct myself, I was just preemptively saying the different words, and it might have been Gen, I can't remember who it was, said to us, look at you code switching. And I hadn't thought about it in that context. Favorite Proshots?
She Loves Me.
She Loves Me is a great one. Company 2006 Broadway revival.
Rent.
Into the Woods 1989.
Rent final cast.
South Pacific at Lincoln Center, which is getting a reunion concert very soon. Oh gosh. Those aren't even necessarily just about the filming, it's about the quality of the show. The best Proshots, you don't think about the filming, I think, because it just makes it easy to watch the show.
Oh, I just thought
Cats is a great shout.
Karis Matthews writing for Pride School, because she was talking about writing for musical theatre with Anais Mitchell, but she's Welsh, and I feel like whoever writes the music for Pride Musical needs to also be able to write Welsh music, because it's a big part of that show.
I wouldn't hate it if it was a collaboration between two people from different backgrounds, because that's the nature of the show.
That would be cool. Because I felt like everybody at one point was like, D'Angelo. Well, no, when we were talking, it was like, you said it when it was.
I would welcome Dan Gillespie-Sells co-composing.
He's writing a new musical that's appearing next year.
I would welcome Dan Gillespie-Sells co-composing the Pride musical because of the song he wrote for the Jamie movie, the This Was Me. That's where I want Pride to live musically.
Kate said Lin-Manuel Miranda has a higher track record than Minchin. We don't count New York. We've already said we don't count one. I mean, bring it on.
I don't mean higher like number. I mean like as a percentage. Tim Minchin's at 100%. Lynn, I don't think is at 100%. Because I like Bring It On a lot.
I like Bring It On.
I don't think it's like top tier. Sorry to everyone.
Yeah, Groundhog Day and Matilda for me are both 5s.
Yeah,
like both 5 stars. Can't knock it.
Miss Saigon 25th is a great pro shot.
Yes.
Come From Away is a great pro shot. Hamilton's a great pro shot.
Yes. I really want to see the 6th pro shot.
View from the Bridge with Mark Strong is also a great pro shot.
Well, at some point we'll be seeing the Merrily pro shot.
Bring It On being your favorite Lin-Manuel Miranda score is a wild take. Oh, I can't work out what the words. Wish Groundhog Day would come back.
Kate says Bring It On's better than Groundhog Day. No.
This is why.
That's bad take.
Broadway doesn't deserve good musicals if you're going to not give Groundhog Day the Tony.
Groundhog Day is exceptional writing. No, Kate, it's just not. That's just ruined our day. It was a very good day until now.
I know. Are we counting that as yesterday ruined or today ruined? Because
now Kate says, "Oh, I love Groundhog Day." You can't backtrack.
It's too late. Didn't sound like it, did it, Kate? Gosh. Little Big Things Proshot. Have I watched the Little Big Things Proshot?
No, because it was only released. We nearly did, but then we hadn't.
I was going to, and then I didn't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it was just a very tricky, we just went free when it came
I have
out.
seen This House Proshot. That's also great. Yes.
I'm very excited for the 6th Proshot, but who knows when it's going to come out.
Ellen just said, I don't know why you didn't include Aaron in this. Sorry. Ellen, I'm scrolling back. Ellen, you said, Mickey, you and I will be 30 before the 6th Proshot is released. And I need everyone to know that Aaron's turning 30
I'll be 29.
Aaron turns 30 before I do, and I need everyone to know this.
Why be so rude and lie?
I'm not lying.
Lying live is what is worse.
I'm not lying. Didn't get a charger. It may be happy ending.
No, because that was only at the press night. There's only the opening night because Ashley got one, I think.
They sell them at the merch booth.
And you didn't get one?
No. I regret it now. I'm sorry. I need to...
I didn't realise that. I think I just thought that was a...
Pop socket.
Yeah.
They also sell a pop socket.
Yeah, I think I just thought all of it was just that.
Yeah. Aaron is 95 as well.
I'm a 95, baby.
The year of the pig. All of us. Yeah.
No, I know you did, Kate, but I think I just didn't realise that was... Is it a wearable charger? I think I just got very confused by
No, it's like a charger for your phone.
See, there we go.
Did you think it was like one to put?
So, because on the opening night one, I saw people holding it up like they were wearing it.
Oh, probably.
So then that's why I'm confused. I think because I saw that and thought that was it.
Tim Rice is a lyricist, 100% personally can't name a time he flopped. A great point. A great point.
I'm August 95.
I can't name a time either. What was that thing that came? Sorry, no. I think there's been stuff more recently. Would you be seeing the London production of Lightning Thief? Yes, seeing it this week. I went to Ghibli stage production Proshot. I know Spirited Away has one from Victoria, just what one from Totoro. Yes.
The timings of Totoro are hard because it's about to open an open-ended run.
Yeah.
So I think they will do one at one point, but it'll probably be years away.
Yes, 1995. Year of the Pig.
Are we the first year of Gen Z?
Gosh, you guys are old. Ow. Ow. Be gone with you before someone drops a house on you too. Wow. Wow. Pained by that one.
Kate said Tim Rice did the lyrics to The Likes of Us.
Well, there you go. There's something else I wanted to answer. Is it fair to ask your opinions on Swept Away? The extent to which that is not a show for me. Not because it's bad, just because it's not for me.
The set was very beautiful.
Yeah.
The set and what happens, like big peak, amazing set.
I have questions about that show enduringly.
But
any show, I mean, it's only a one-act show, but it is still a 4-sentence plot synopsis. And that's not reducing it. You pretty much can cover everything in a 4-sentence plot synopsis.
It wasn't a show that I will go back to quickly.
It is not a show I will go back to.
Yes, I agree. But we both felt the same about The Outsiders, and then we nearly dipped back.
I would go back to The Outsiders. I could go back to The Outsiders before I'd go back to Swept Away. John Gallagher Jr.'s performance is terrific. That's what I'd go back for.
Kate, don't make these jokes. Like, so I will remind you of the show where we walked out, where once the show had finished, everybody reacted the same, and then you turned around and said that you absolutely loved it, and everybody collectively gasped.
Did you go to Gypsy Alexandra Palace concert they did with the 7 Roses? Yes. What a night that was. I got on a bus with Ian McKellen afterwards. No. Oh, Bell Ringers. What a show was Bell Ringers.
The thing is, I love the cast members in it. I just felt so sad. But then again, I just don't think that type of show is for me.
Do. Ain't it so, the road don't make you young. Don't know why that suddenly jumped into my head. Ain't it so?
You had a fight with Ian McKellen. You didn't.
I got on a bus with Ian McKellen. On a bus, not in a bus. On a bus. We got on public transport together. Yeah. I feel like the live is coming to an end. What are we at? 2 hours 40.
Oh yeah, that tells. Yeah, we're nearly at 2 a.m.
Nearly 2
That's
a.m.
definitely
Got a lot of work to do on the morrow.
Yeah, I gotta re-edit something in the morning.
Yeah. It's nearly midday for Ellen. No, didn't get into a fight with Ian McKellen. Don't worry.
I love the cast recording to Bring It On, Kate.
I hate that this has made me a Bring It On enemy. I like Bring It On.
I like Bring It On. I just don't think... just no. We saw it recently. I think this is also a thing. We saw the recent production of Groundhog Day, so we know...
Yeah.
We have been fully, amazed and aware of just how gorgeous and well written and well structured that show is.
In terms of how smart and how layered and the cleverness of that writing, it is incomparable.
I'm sorry, Alan. I hope the 3 days are all okay. But...
Oh no, that's rubbish. Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you everybody for joining us.
It has been a magical time. Everyone go and see the Wicked movie 3 more times in cinemas to remind people that the demand is there and they need to keep making movie musicals and to make sure that part 2 is successful and everything we want it to be. We need to support musical theatre in the mainstream on the big screen. Goodbye. I'm being pushed away. You're not being told the whole story.
I can't end it because you put this.
La 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 la. Blinky blunky. Boop. Boop. Hope that everyone is staying safe. Hope you have
a stagey day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Boop.